6:04, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, off and running. Brian here with you, Bree Lynn producing, getting you ready for a busy Thursday show. Starting it off at 73 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. We broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. We got a lot of ground to cover today, y'all. A lot of drone talk coming up in our Cup of Tech Gumbo with Haggai Davis, among other topics. Haggai's stacked up today. We've got Mason Batts from the mayor's office coming by in the 7 o'clock hour. They're doing some pretty cool stuff when it comes to cleaning up Baton Rouge. We've got our Crimestoppers segment later today. State Rep Vanessa LaFleur going to join us in the 8 o'clock hour. She had herself a busy session. Not any of the bills that were in the news on a day-to-day basis, but long time, what's the right word here? The work that she got done during the session is going to have a long-time effect in the state of Louisiana. It's really cool stuff. We'll probably also talk with her or get her to reflect on Larry Selders a little bit, too. And then the folks from the Baton Rouge Underground Film Fest are going to be on as well. So a lot to get to. Let's get to it. Start off with top stories and trending. Starts us off with downgraded again. The team at Colorado State University has once again scaled back their prediction for the 2026 hurricane season. Now they're calling for 9 named storms, 4 hurricanes, 1 major. Bear in mind, the average season carries 14 named storms. This is a drill. This is only a drill. Today and tomorrow, the East Feliciana Parish Sheriff's Office will be conducting an active shooter training at the Silliman Institute in Clinton. If you're out that way, you see a heavy law enforcement presence, rest assured, this is not an actual crisis. Take you over to St. George, where a site plan for a new Veterans Affairs outpatient clinic was approved. However, there are some concerns that remain about future traffic issues in the clinic's area. The St. George Zoning Commission unanimously approved a site plan Monday night for a 120,000 square foot, 2-story outpatient clinic with 600 parking spaces. This will be over on Riga Road on the northwest corner of Piku Lane and Riga Road intersection. The VA expects the new clinic to be open by 2029. An alleged drug dealer is now charged with manslaughter as well. Take you back to late February. A St. George man was found dead in his apartment with a bag of white powder next to him. That bag contained a lethal mix of fentanyl and heroin. Text messages on the deceased's phone led detectives to 36-year-old Robert McKay for selling the drugs to the man the day before. McKay was arrested this week, and yes, manslaughter is among the charges. Every criminal court judge in New Orleans says they will not handle the case involving Attorney General Liz Murrell's recent indictment on allegations that she threatened local officials over their response to state lawmakers dissolving an Orleans Parish Clerk of Court position. The Louisiana Supreme Court will have to appoint an ad hoc judge over the case.
Graham Plattner announced Wednesday night that he is suspending his campaign and will withdraw from the ballot in Maine Senate race. And why? This thing is about to get messy.
About to.
I know it all. Well, I know. It's just, yeah, a week before. Is it a week before their election? Hold on. So he withdrew from the race after a woman accused him of rape. He has denied the allegation, went on a 10-minute rant as of last night saying it is false, saying that he and his wife are regular people, and there's a reason they are accusing him now. And
but evidence is stacked up against him.
Yeah.
Everybody's withdrawing their endorsements of him.
Yep.
So
he's suggesting that Tommy was connected to politics, arguing that he had defeated established Bat Democrats in the primary, powerful political figures and party leaders wanted him out. But like you said, all the evidence is starting to get stacked. But I think I read it somewhere that they're going back to the polls next week. Maybe.
Well, yeah, I'm not showing that on any calendar. But
okay.
It might be. I don't keep up with Maine all that much, except to know that this is Susan Collins' seat, and this was a seat that was going to draw a lot of attention nationwide. We talked with Casey Crosby from the RNC about this, about what seats are going to be hotter, and that was one of them. So
I know. Well, Michigan is the first state to surpass 1,000 cases of cyclosporiasis, also known as the explosive diarrhea.
Gross. So gross.
As 20 states, 20 are now reporting cases, 23 cases thus far in Louisiana.
I mean, this is an outbreak that's going everywhere. If this was the way this thing is spreading, it's going to continue to spread. But it's coming from produce, right?
Produce. Hold on. So they're saying the parasite has been associated with leafy greens, cilantro, parsley, some certain fruits in the past, and drinking water.
Okay. So, I was reading a story on it last night, and they had, it's just stock photo, but it was raspberries. And I'm like, I don't even know if it's raspberries that's carrying this. They just use a stock photo.
Right.
So...
Gross. And then in one of the videos I was watching to kind of catch up on what this business is about, the reporter said, be sure to wash your hands. I'm like,
well, yeah.
Well, we should be doing that regardless.
Right? That should have been a given.
Right.
Unreal. Anyway, so the whole nation's got the foie.
Yeah, right? Yeah. We're all gross people. Good. Going to something, food, but hopefully not carrying the explosive diarrhea virus. Hugh Biggs Pies is introducing 2 special pie flavors for the summer, mocha and banana.
So I'm fired up about this because the banana was an old school favorite. Then bring it back.
Wasn't it stuffed with the little cream banana on the inside? Yes.
The banana was an old school favorite. And after they burned down and rebuilt and all that other good stuff, they hadn't brought banana back yet. So even if this is just for a limited run over the summer, I'm here for it. By the way, Matherns carries the Ubix pies, so very much looking forward to that. But the mocha one I'm interested in as well because they're teaming up with PJ's Coffee.
Oh,
so they're using it's going to be their chocolate pie, which is awesome, mixed with PJ's cold brew.
Oh, mercy, God bless. That's going to be good.
I know. I'm never going to be a skinny man.
That's going to be delicious. And I don't know if you heard this, too, while we're sticking on food news really quick. So Krispy Kreme is teaming up with Girl Scout cookies, and they're going to launch these cookie-inspired donuts. So, for example, the Thin Mint donut will have the little crispy, crunchy Thin Mints on top and this mint drizzle. It's going to be really good. And then I think the Lemon Ups, they're going to have the lemon stuffing in the middle of the donut. And so that's something I'm excited for. The Krispy Kreme Girl Scout cookie pie.
So glad to be done with selling Girl Scout cookies.
I know, but a donut, Brian, that's going to be delicious.
I was never a Thin Mint guy. That's
really.
I know it's the most popular flavor. It's put them in the freezer, it'll change your life. I get it.
I did.
I understand that. I get it. It's just wasn't mine. I'm the either Samoa's or Caramel Delights. So either
I'm
way.
the peanut butter cookie girl myself, but a Thin Mint's good.
We are at 612 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Before we take our first break, let me remind you about the folks over at the Louisiana Beef Industry Council, bringing you Foodie Friday every single Friday. Well, unless I'm out. But Foodie Friday just about every Friday throughout grilling season, as it were. Tomorrow, I believe, is it Newleys is the place? They're out in Prairieville, somewhere in Ascension Parish. Newleys is going to be in with us tomorrow, having some roast beef. I know later on this month, my brother Thomas Rock's going to be in from Mammy's Meat Pies. We'll be grilling all month long. Well, not just grilling, but every way we could celebrate beef possible. Yeah, it's grilling season. But if we're talking, burgers, that's cool. Steaks, that's cool. Tacos, that's cool. I mean, beef is so versatile to be served up in a million different ways. Like I just said, roast beef or meat pie. How about those two fit in the mix as well? And all the while providing you with protein, providing you with iron, providing you with 10 vitamins and nutrients. You can learn more at beefitswhatsfordinner.com. Beefitswhatsfordinner.com.
Okay, y'all. So that's what it is. So back to the Plattner story. It's under Maine law. If he formally withdraws by the deadlines, the Maine Democratic Party, not the general electorate, will choose a replacement nominee at a party nominating convention. So the party has until July 27th to select that replacement. That's what it was.
Okay, but they don't have an election until
No. The November 2026 general election. Okay.
No, third.
The Senate race will be the November 2026 general election. No?
Yeah, November 3rd.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Byron says somehow the mocha flavor doesn't sound appealing after the explosive diarrhea story.
It's fair. And also, the last time they tried a coffee one, the cream was too runny. They botched it last time. But they had just gotten back in business, and everything they were doing was like the recipes were off.
Gross, Brian. I'm ready. Renee also says not a fan of them mints.
Damn it. .617 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Transfer portal been quite active for Jay Johnson building out next year's roster. He's got a big weekend coming up. I believe it's this weekend, if not next, with the Major League Baseball draft. A lot of guys with their names inked for the Tigers could be headed on to greener pastures if the money's right. So there will be no shortage of baseball news in the next few days. As for right now, though, pulling in names off the transfer portal, Angel Laya came in last weekend, hit 296 with 14 home runs this past season. Coach Jay Johnson told Tiger Rag Radio, which is, of course, a product of our news partners at the Louisiana Radio Network, told Tiger Rag Radio, all three of the newcomers that are coming in can do more than just swing the bat. Cut 16, please.
What I'd call balanced attack players. Thought that was something we really needed to improve and elevate. And I think we look at those outfielders, you guys mentioned Angel, but Jason Wax, Waters, good defensive players, good athletes, good speed. So that will help on defense, and obviously really high-end hitters.
It's going to be so hard to keep up with names. And this is for every sport right now with the way the transfer portal is. It's like, as fans, we need a preseason just to dial in and learn all the new names. There's not going to be as much carryover from season to season. Meanwhile, like I said, the Major League Baseball draft is coming up this weekend. Johnson says up to 13 players in the incoming freshman class of 23 commits could head on to pro ball. He's hoping as few as 6 decide, not keeping that number that's going to move on down to 6.
And on the position player side of it, no matter what happens in the draft, I think we have a very good team and very good unit on the position player side of it. On the pitching side of it, the development of the returners and their improvement is important. We like the 3 pitchers we got out of the portal. We have a ton of talent from the high school ranks.
But it's just going to be a matter of keeping up with it. That's all. It's a matter of learning all the new names, because it feels like as soon as you learn a name, they're gone once again. Hey, talk about the portal. LSU did lose Marcos Paz to the portal, so it's looking like Coach Johnson is getting everything done for next season that he needs to get done for next season. Definitely a more intentional approach for sure. So. We'll see where things pan out after this weekend's draft. Coming up on 620 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP, that means it's time for the Fox Business Report.
Morning.
Morning.
Morning, Bree.
Good morning. How are you? I need to get caught up on your podcast. I started listening back when. I need to get caught up because you were like, yeah, we covered the
Xbox stuff.
The layoffs,
Yeah.
I have a little cousin. She is obviously that's gonna be my fourth cousin now, or we're removed, whatever we, I lose track of all that. But she's talking about what she wants to do when she grows up, and she's like, I want to go into tech, and I'm like,
Cool.
yeah, but
Learn math.
yeah. But like you say all the time, you just got to learn how to use it, the AI, so it doesn't replace you.
Yep. It's not going to replace you. The person who knows how to use it the best is going to replace you.
And the most efficient, and who can get the job done the quickest with it, et cetera, et cetera.
And actually, in this weekend show, one of the things we talk about, there's a story that a lot of the big AI, OpenAI and Anthropic, their CEOs are saying, yeah, that a year ago we were saying AI was going to replace all these jobs, and in fact, the people who have embraced it the most are actually adding jobs.
Really?
Yes.
Compensate with the people who are using it so efficiently.
In the analogy we made, or I made really, was if you go back to the 90s, before people had computers and everything was on paper, people were, we don't need those damn computers and all this the computers. But now everyone all of a sudden got computers and they got more efficient. It didn't eliminate jobs; it created jobs, and that's what's going to happen with AI.
We're going through this.
It's all over again. It's if you know how to use it and it makes you more efficient, then you can make the company more money. Therefore, you can add more jobs, not replace jobs.
Yeah, I remember that because my dad was hollering at it, and he's like, "Oh, that dadgum computer," and he's like, "That's gonna take our jobs," and everybody was saying that.
I know. I lived through it.
Man, oh man.
Oh shit, this is me. I'm not ready for the next segment yet. All right, let's head on back to the traffic center, see what we got going on this morning. Starting off on your interstates, as we like to do. It's actually kind of rough right now on I-10. This is looking like I-10 eastbound moving through the city. Let me pull up my my other map and see what we got on that one. I'll get a better view of this. Yeah, okay, I-10 eastbound. It looks like there's a stalled vehicle in the roadway around Perkins Road. Okay, so in between Perkins and Acadian Thruway, that's backing things up pretty good right now. In fact, slowdowns start way back by Laurie Burgess Avenue, continue over the lakes, and then up to where you will find the stalled vehicle, 10 East by Perkins. Zooming out a little bit, heading out to Livingston Parish, it's barely your normal delays. As you leave Livingston Parish, coming across the river, you won't really see any delays until you get to about Old Hammond Highway. Not Old Hammond Highway, O'Neill Lane. Goodness gracious. O'Neill Lane, you'll tap the brakes a little bit all the way up through about Sherwood Forest before picking up speed again. You'll find some minor slowdowns as you get towards the 10-12 merge as well. 10 West coming in from Ascension Parish looks good. 110's looking good in both directions, and on our surface streets, there are no accidents to report. So that one little chunk on I-10 eastbound is your only problem at this time.
What do you need from me for that?
624 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Supposed to get to a carbon capture story here in just a quick second, but I ran out of time in our sports segment. The New Orleans Saints are out with their training camp schedule, and Houdettes that want to go see practice, the practice schedule is out for public view, or the practices where the public can attend. It'll start on July 30th. It looks like all of the practices that the public can attend are morning sessions. But July 30th, 31st, August 2nd, August 3rd, August 5th, August 8th, 9th, and 13th, which that one, by the way, the 13th is a joint practice with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Those practices are all open to the public. The window there is 9 to 10:30 a.m. A couple of them, it's a full 9 to 11 a.m. But as this new-look Saints team is getting out there, and there's a lot of hype behind this team, as the new-look Saints team is getting out there, if you wanted to attend practice, there will be plenty of windows to do so. The Saints have everything up on their website if you wanted to check them out. And, of course, for Saints coverage all preseason and season long, LouisianaSports.net has got you covered. Ross Jackson does a phenomenal job on that front. So that was the little button to put on sports. Before we move on, and this is appropriate, before we move on to a story about where carbon capture is headed, I need to remind you about the folks over at ExxonMobil. Been in our backyard doing it, and employing our neighbors, fueling the world out of right here in Baton Rouge for over 115 years, building on experience, building on safety, building on the reputation that they have built for all that time. ExxonMobil has been part of Louisiana this entire time, standing at the intersection of energy and opportunity. And, well, energy is headed in the direction of CCUS, carbon capture, usage, and storage. And with that, ExxonMobil wants to be on the forefront there as well, the same way that they have been on the oil and gas front. And they always will be in the oil and gas front. That's the bread and butter. They're never going to abandon that. They're not walking away from what's built Louisiana. But energy doesn't just power today. This is about powering tomorrow as well. So Exxon will be investing in technology such as carbon capture and storage. If you want to learn more about what they're doing and how they're doing it, visit aboutlaccs.com, aboutlaccs.com. Or you can just post on our chat how much you hate it. Either way. You either learn how they're doing it the right way, or just, continue to complain about it. It's crazy. So, saw this in the Daily Report yesterday, the yesterday afternoon Daily Report. A headline, carbon capture continues to expand globally despite mounting opposition. Global energy and research consulting firm Wood Mackenzie reports that carbon capture, utilization, and storage, or CCUS, is expected to expand significantly with global capacity, get this, projected to grow from roughly 91 million metric tons per year, which is where they're at today, to around 3 billion metric tons annually by 2060. Now, that's a long time out. That's more than 30 years out. But that is also more than, well, I was going to say more than tripling, but it's a heck of a lot more than that. So, back to the story. New project announcements have slowed. Projects already underway continue to advance. The construction stage capacity is rising 9%, and advanced development project increasing 23% from late 25 through early 26. Continuing from the story, the industry still faces major challenges, including permitting delays, infrastructure limitations, uncertain policy support, and community opposition. Louisiana has become a focal point in that debate, as proposed carbon capture infrastructure has drawn increased public scrutiny despite the state's long history with oil and gas development and energy production. The controversy highlights the broader challenge of balancing industrial decarbonization goals with local concerns about safety, land use, and long-term impacts. I want to break this down for just a quick second, and I know I've got less than 2 minutes. I see you. On the safety front, and I might be wrong about this, but in the United States of America, there has been one accident of significance involving carbon capture, and it involved an unbelievable act of God with a landslide in Mississippi, and it sent 4 people to the hospital. The worst CCUS accident thus far in America. Nobody died. I don't like if that's where the bar is, and we'll continue to get safer from there. I'm good with it. Now, as far as the land use is concerned, man, how many debates did we have over that during the last legislative session? Seeing guys like Chuck Owen, Brett Guyman just get after it to make sure Louisianans are protected, and then seeing proponents like Jessica Domain hear their concerns and get together on writing legislation that will actually address concerns, all the while knowing that we've never seen eminent domain used for this before. We never will. But in order to allay any concerns, there's been multiple pieces of legislation already written. So I'm just, as we continue to follow this, I want to follow more of the science rather than the hype. The science rather than the hype. And I've yet to find the scientist who is telling me the loophole that I'm missing. Anyway, the story's up at the Daily Report from yesterday afternoon. Grabs from the Pipeline and Gas Journal if you wanted the full thing. We got Haggai Davis in for a cup of tech gumbo. We're going to talk drone frenzy in just a little bit. Right now, we're at 6:30. It's time for news, traffic, weather. We'll start you off with ABC.
So yesterday's meeting, that's always one of my favorite meetings of the year. Just to see the installation of new officers, the new president being sworn in. And,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of the former presidents try to come back for that meeting to see somebody new getting sworn in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone enjoys it as much as me. I get it because.
Well, not everyone's a former president.
Exactly. And Daryl is such a good guy. I like him so much.
Yeah, I got lost in his presentation. He had a lot of energy. He's a very colorful character for sure. But eventually it was just a lot of... I'm not going to know Supreme Court justices from 20 years before I was born.
Right.
I'll know the ones I read about in history books, and that's about it. It was a cool idea for a topic, though.
So what happened to Wilson or
Wilton.
Wilton?
He'll be in when she's out next week. Or
Okay.
starting tomorrow, actually, huh?
Yeah, when I get off the show today, we're going to try to hit the road. Plan is to hit the road by 10. We're going to Miramar Beach. It'll be fun. It's
Which
over there
Miramar?
by Destin.
Okay.
Yeah. We'd like to go there because it's just less crowded than Destin.
Well, there's a lot of Miramar beaches. That's why I might.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be.
Top Gun.
One in San Diego. There's
Really?
one
Oh,
in
okay.
Virginia. There's the one right there by the naval station in Pensacola. Oh yeah.
I'll be out from. I'll be back on the show Friday, so I'll miss you Thursday. But yeah, he knows his history. I love his little nuggets for this day in history.
Cool.
Morning, Christy. Welcome in, Boo. Jeez, some criminies.
Wait,
Whatever.
This is news. You raised the speed limit from 50 to 60 miles an hour, and this is state news.
With as much as we've got going on, yeah. Kill the mics, please. It's not the best scene.
Yeah, but Alan, you're not as bad as the other people that come in here.
Alan says, Brian already knows I'm not a fan of CCS, so not much more I can beating a dead horse. Just show me some science. That's all I ask. Show me actual science from an actual scientist, please. It's literally the air we exhale, boss.
At least he's not coming in here screaming at you in all caps.
I know.
Carbon is around you already. It's already in the air.
And we're already to the point of where we know how to use it. That's going to ramp up in the next 2 to 3 years to where it is going to be one of the more valuable commodities around. And what's one of the more valuable commodities around, I would like to have some of it underneath us to pull back out again. Landmark Bank, landmarkbankla.com is the website, landmarkbankla.com. Landmark Bank started as a community bank back in 1897. And would you believe that in 2026, they're still a community bank? I mean, they've grown to a few more communities over that time, but have remained true to their mission and will stay true to that mission in perpetuity. Now, they're going to grow. They're going to grow into a few more communities, I'm sure. I mean, there will be plans for that. But if Landmark Bank is already in your community, you want a bank, not just a bank. And that's what you get when you have a community bank. That community feel, that level of relationship, that level of care and dedication to you. Whether you're talking about investing for the future, borrowing for whatever it is you need right now, saving long-term, or something as simple as starting your kid's first checking account. You can learn more at landmarkbankla.com. It is time for a cup of Tech Gumbo. Let's go. What's happening, Haggai?
So excited for this weekend, Brian.
Well, why is that?
This is the 400th Tech Gumbo airing this weekend.
You're kidding me. Okay.
400 shows.
Nice, nice. Gotta love that.
I mean, the fact that we're nearing the end of our 12th year of doing this show is just amazing to me. I mean, I'm so excited, so proud of the show and what it's grown to be and everything. But to think when we started the show in November of 2014, number one, that we'd still be doing it now at all, but to have done 400 of them is, for a weekend only show, is pretty cool.
Yes. I mean, just to keep the band together that long.
I mean,
what are you, Journey?
It's a good opportunity for me to get to be able to talk to my kid.
So that is a cool part of it.
That's who lives in New York City, so it's not like I can just go across town and have dinner kind of stuff. I mean, that's also one of the really fun parts about doing the show, but also learning about all the technology and reading more things about it and being able to talk about it, because this is what I enjoy doing.
Right.
And so, yes, 400 shows.
Very, very cool stuff. And this one is jam-packed with a little bit of drone frenzy, if you will.
There is a bit of drones.
So let's start off there, because there's two different drone stories that are completely different.
Absolutely.
Completely. This isn't one piggybacking off of another one. But we got to start with because of the World Cup, right?
Yes.
Because of the World Cup. The FBI has seized over 600 drones around World Cup matches across all 11 U.S. host cities, and that's bad news for all drone fans. Why are they seizing them?
So the FAA has a no-fly zone over any kind of arena, an open-air arena, and it goes 1,500 feet out away from the building and up to 3,000 feet above the arena. They don't want these drones being over the middle of 100,000 people and the battery dies and drops out of the air kind of thing. So they are using RF detection, radar. They're using counter defense mechanisms that they can disable and then track the drone as to where it's being operated from. And when they catch these pilots in these no-fly zones, it's up to $100,000 fine and possible federal criminal charges.
Right. Now, I would imagine that will all vary based off of how deep into the no-fly zone they are.
That's a Franz question. But I mean, I would imagine the closer you get to the arena, the more likely they are to really prosecute you.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one thing to like, and I'm just picturing tailgating like we would for SEC football.
Right.
It's one thing to fire up a drone over the parade grounds. It's another thing to send it over 3rd and 17.
But they also, these no-fly zones are also over the villages outside, the view, the watch parties and everything.
Right.
They don't want you flying your drone over large crowds like this.
Yeah.
That are, over tailgating outside of LSU. That's the whole campus at that point.
But that's where I'm going with, like, there will be levels to the enforcement.
Yeah. So if you are one of these people who do have these drones, there's an app. It's the letter B, the number 4, the letter U, FLY. You can download this before you fly.
Nice.
And you can download this Android or iOS, and it will tell you where the no-fly zones are.
Right.
And if you have a drone, you already know this, but go get this app. Don't put your drone in a place that's going to cost you a lot of money and possible jail time.
Right. Which just seems stupid.
Yes. Just because you're wanting to get that one cool shot to be, an influencer on social media, and your 1,500 followers or whatever, you're not.
Man, if that 1,500 grows to 1,750, that's a good day.
Yeah, okay. Is it really worth $100,000 though?
Only if you get caught.
Only if you get caught. Well, good luck with that.
So here's the scoreboard, if you will. Miami's leading the count at 99 confiscated drones. Los Angeles has 91. Dallas at 78. Atlanta 77. Kansas City had 61 seizures. Seattle 52. San Francisco 48. Boston 44. New York, New Jersey at 38. Philly had 29. And then Houston had 24 to round things out.
Which is interesting because Dallas at 78, that's a closed-in stadium.
Right.
And Houston is as well.
Right.
But they were still flying over these closed-in venues because of the no-fly zone around all of these big arenas.
Yeah.
And not gyms like that USL coach from a few years back. I enjoyed that yesterday.
Thank you.
And they're always going to be USL to me. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's accurate.
Old school. It's just
they are a university in southwestern Louisiana, so that is true.
And so the idea that you're putting up these drones over a dome stadium, and you're still going to get clobbered for it.
Right. But that's what I'm talking about with the idea that if you're looking for footage of the game, that's one thing. Footage of the tailgating is another. Because let's not forget, the game is licensed.
Absolutely.
So that's why I believe that's a completely number one. The danger of your drone falling out of the sky. That's one thing. Number two, the game is licensed, which any reproduction or rebroadcast of this that whole disclaimer you get at the end of every ball game. That's another thing as well. If you're just looking to get crowd footage, that's to me is a completely separate issue, but it still affects the no-fly zone.
And the FBI is getting a lot of practice right now on this because the big concern is coming up in 2 years with the Olympics.
Exactly.
In Los Angeles.
Yes.
And they're talking about making almost the entire city of Los Angeles a no-fly zone because they're so afraid of what these drones can do. And they can be weaponized, obviously, or they can just fall out of the sky and hurt people.
Right.
So, yeah, the FBI is really, really concerned about these big crowds and people putting their drones up.
So let's talk about it from the Olympic perspective, because now you're talking about just zeroing in on one city, but broadening out to the whole city.
Or you're increasing, because you're going to have these Olympic events all over the place.
Oh yeah,
and so you're going to be spread around. It's not they're not really going to no-fly the entire city, but you're talking large radius around the whatever events are as to where these no-fly zones are going to be, and it's kind of sizable that, and they're really concerned about these drones.
Now, one of the bigger parts of this is the fact that we are a free nation.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to freedom, we are a freer nation than most other free nations.
But we do have laws.
No, we do. But one of the parts that plays into this, though, is when you have special laws that pop up from time to time, not everyone is informed. And no, ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law, but not everyone is as informed. And if I read the story right, the FAA's existing legality, whatever, like, we are freer than most of the other countries that are here.
True.
So when you bring other people into your country, and this is going to be the same as true of the Olympics, the visitors are not used to that level of
So you
intrusion
come in from another country and you bring your drone thinking you can put it up, you're in trouble.
Right. Like, I'm going to America, I could do whatever I want because they're the land of the free. That's not necessarily the case.
This is true.
So, 600 violations in a single tournament. It's so now 600 violations in a single tournament, and there was no one city that had 600. So that tells me somebody that was sending it up got their drone back and sent it back up again, like a moron.
Oh, I doubt that they gave them these drones back.
You think?
I doubt that very seriously.
Okay.
They're number one. They're evidence.
Oh, well, that's true. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at the clock. We got a break here. Sorry. Let's take a quick break. Come back next. It's Cup of Tech Gumbo on Talk 107.3. Yep.
The drone frenzy.
Satarsha, Mississippi is exactly the accident I was talking about, Alan. And it wasn't 50 residents.
7-3. I'm sorry. Wrong password.
Go back through this again. No matter how many times I go through it, I got to go back through it again.
So the thing that always amazes me is, okay, you release this carbon back up into the air that we just pulled it out of. What's it really doing?
So, as a post-combustible gas, it burns. It's hotter than
If
the
it
rest of the.
if it ignites,
No, it can't ignite. It's post-combustible.
so
It's a byproduct of fire.
you're just releasing carbon back into the air.
Yes.
That was in the air before we took it out. I mean, there's carbon in the air already.
Yes. It's the disparity of carbon. It's like how much more CO2 there is in the air than other gases.
Right.
Is what is believed to be a cause of global warming or
Oh,
whatever.
I
don't.
understand
And
all
I
that.
honestly don't care what they believe on that front. I'm more on the end of usable commodity.
Breaking the CO2 out, breaking the carbon out of the oxygen, and then using that as a fuel or as a different source of energy, yes, let's go for it.
So I'm seeing what Alan's seeing now, but that's not how it was reported. There weren't 45 people. It's Satarsha, Mississippi. This isn't exactly a booming metropolis.
Yeah, don't even know what part of the.
It's in Yazoo County.
Okay, know where Yazoo is. I know where Jackson is. I know where Stark Vegas is, and I know where Oxford and Gulfport and Biloxi. Well, I know where Macomb is too because it's right outside of Percy Quinn.
There you go. You probably know Hattiesburg too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, right there along 55 or 59.
59.
I've actually been to Hattiesburg.
Well, yeah, that's where Southern Miss is at. That's where my daughter's at.
I know, but we would take the Boy Scouts to go. There's campgrounds that we would go kayaking down that river outside of.
So Yazoo City is, or Yazoo County is just north of Jackson.
Okay.
See, Debbie's on board. She bought herself a soda stream or drink mate. Love the soda stream.
I love mine too. I ended up selling it just because I'm tired of.
I need to refill I need to refill my canisters. I use the hell out of it when I have it, and then
I don't like carbonated soft drinks.
love them.
Really? So you don't like what's all the fancy one? The bubblies and you don't like none of that.
And the LaCroix and the Waterloos.
I used to drink like a lot of Diet Coke, but I stopped all that like in 2010.
So it's the sparkling water's got me off of the Cokes. So,
I never have liked Coca-Cola. Growing up as a kid, Mom had Tab and Fresca in the house, so I never developed that taste for sweet, the way Pepsi and Coca-Cola is, and so we drank Tab as kids, and then when
Look at this.
Diet Coke kind of replaced it, I drank Diet Coke for a while, but it was probably 2010 when I just
okay, here we go.
entirely.
I am where Alan's at on the Satarsha, Mississippi incident. It does say 45 hospitalizations, but they're sourcing Earth Justice. If you click on the link that says there were 45 hospitalizations, which, by the way, still nobody died. If you click on the link, it takes you to a donation page. It doesn't take you to a news article. It takes you to a donation page for Earth Justice.
You got clickbaited.
.652, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Cup of Tech Gumbo continuing right now. We got Haggai Davison with us for about 7.5 more minutes. Haggai, I want to pivot on topics real quick.
Yeah.
And when I say pivot, let's stick with the drones.
All right.
But change things up.
Yes.
Okay? Cortana Mall, or what was Cortana Mall, now the Amazon Distribution Center. And now if you live within 7.2 miles.
7.5.
7.5?
7.5 miles.
Oh.
And I checked on Google Maps. My house is 7.7.
No. Okay, well, so first of all, let's start there. I don't want to
Okay.
really want to give away where you live, but you are south of LSU's campus.
Yeah, I'm in,
So
I'm
to
in the
kinda-
Riverbend area.
Okay, so you're in Riverbend. Just to kind of give you a little perspective of how far 7.5 miles can take you. If you're thinking like 7.5 miles, well, I don't live in Broadmoor or Villa Del Rey, so I'm out. No, it's a much further distance than that, but as the drone flies.
As the drone flies, you don't have to go all the way down Florida Boulevard and take a left on River Road to get to my house.
Right.
They're flying right over in a straight line. 'Cause,
Right.
You can't get anywhere in Baton Rouge in a straight line.
Right.
And so, but these drones can. And any package 5 pounds or less, and these drones, these MK-30 drones, which will do up to 50 miles an hour in the air, zip across, and they're all flying below 400 feet. When you go to Amazon and you select a package, you've got it'll give you the option. Hey, if you want air delivery, you got to tell it in my driveway, the backyard, the front yard, where you're going to have this thing dropped off, because you have to designate. I don't want this thing. If I was in the range, if it drops it in the backyard, the dogs are going to eat it.
Okay.
So that don't work for me.
Right.
In the driveway, okay, that's great. That's probably where it would be, but there's a lot of trees around my driveway.
Right.
And so then are you going to drop it in the front yard? And then I'm never going to see the package because somebody's going to walk by and porch
it.
pirate.
Right.
And so, it sounds fun until you start getting into where are you going to bring it? I mean, if you live let's say you live in mid-city or somewhere with tons and tons of trees everywhere.
Yeah.
And that drone's going to have to come down and get below the canopy somehow to find a place to drop it at your house.
Mm-hmm.
It may not be for everybody.
Do the drones have pilots or are they automated?
They're all autonomous.
See, that to me is the dangerous part, because the automation isn't going to know the tree levels and like if you had somebody working a joystick on the back end, you can get it on your front door just like you do a regular Amazon package.
Well, these are the things because we've been talking about Amazon wanting to do these drone deliveries for almost 10 years now on the show, and we've had people from Amazon on to talk about it, and they've talked about how the trouble of programming these autonomous drones, they have to be able to map. They know where power lines are. They know where tree tops are. They know how to get to an area while looking out for other traffic, because these drones all do have radar on them. And it's very, very difficult. That's why it's taken so long to roll this delivery system out the way they have. They've got to feel comfortable enough to where they can get these drones where they need to go. But, again, you have an area that's full of trees and that got that big, heavy canopy over your house. It's going to be tough to get something in there to you.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's a lot of Baton Rouge.
And then the other part is weather. We have lots of weather here in South Louisiana. You start this pilot program in Phoenix where the sun shines most of the year and it rains 3 days out of the year. Okay, fine. You can do a whole lot there. But we have pop-up showers where it'll rain over the top of a neighborhood for 20 minutes and then the clouds go away.
Right. And not just rain, but oh my goodness, Sherwood Forest yesterday.
Oh, we got hammered at my house yesterday.
Lobbered in the 2 o'clock hour.
Absolutely. And so,
and then by 3:30,
everything's clear.
Yeah.
The sun's out. And so if that drone takes off and then so they're going to have meteorologists, or somebody's going to be tracking the weather. Is Pat Shingleton going to be outsourced?
That's his retirement gig.
I guess so.
And instead of becoming a Walmart greeter, the new retirement gig is becoming a drone meteorologist. We can roll with that for sure.
Absolutely.
Oh, so good. So 7.5 miles is where they're at right now. Now, weather concerns aside, but is the hope to grow distance, grow weight, so they can expand the program, or is this just going to be like, let's hold this where it's at right now, because we still have plenty of drivers who are doing a fantastic job as it is?
Well, it's the limitation of the drone. The drone, they don't want it to go more than 7.5 miles, and carrying a 5-pound package, and then be able to get back comfortably before it runs out of juice. So that's why they're holding the limitation to just 7.5 miles right now. It may be at some point when they get instead of the MK30, if they get the MK50, maybe they go up to 10 miles with whatever the next generation of drones kind of thing. But for now, they're going to hold to this approximate 7.5 miles.
I mean, there's literally millions of different items that can be ordered via drone.
Yeah, sure.
So, the genesis of my question is this is taking a lot off the backs of the Amazon drivers, hopefully.
And it's also taking a lot of vehicles off the streets.
That's the
clearing up
that's
some
the
traffic.
Logical progression.
Yes.
It's taking it off the backs of the drivers, which means delivery times won't be as late, hopefully. But at the same time, though, fewer Amazon trucks on the road, hopefully. So it to me, this is a win-win-win where it's at right now.
Absolutely.
Whether they grow the program or not doesn't matter to me. That where it's at right now is we're in a good spot.
Just to if they can get a few extra vehicles off the road, that's less opportunities for accidents, less congestion on the roads, and get these drones out where they can do a delivery in 2 hours to you. That's a pretty nice thing.
Let's not have the delivery vehicles in the neighborhoods at 9:30 at night anymore. It's just that to me is one of the bigger parts.
Yeah.
So, what else on the show this week?
Oh, we talked. Microsoft's got this global ID thing where they can track computers anywhere in the world, and they caught a hacker in Europe over it.
Okay.
We also talked a lot about artificial intelligence, obviously, and one of the things is that people are doing studies and realizing AI is not actually taking jobs; it's creating them.
Oh, amazing! Who knew? Whoever saw that coming? He's Haggai Davis. You get your full serving of Tech Gumbo Saturdays and Sundays here on Talk 107.3 FM and anywhere you get your podcasts on demand. We'll see you next week.
You bet.
Here's news.
Another one of the stories we did a lot. We're talking about Starlink, how they're downing their drones.
But they're
their
replacing them, right?
Yeah, they've got over 10,000 up there right now. They purposefully, they'll go up 5 years and then they burn them up, bring them back in, burn up.
Yeah.
The problem is it doesn't incinerate entirely. It incinerates mostly.
Which means something's going to land.
But they land them between New Zealand and the southern tip of South America, the Chile coast. So because it's a big, several thousand miles of ocean that they can land, which is mostly ash kind of stuff. But some of the solar panels, which are very, very flame resistant, don't burn up, but they just flutter down. They're not dropping like lead weights kind of thing. But some of the materials inside these drones are very heavy, and they don't burn up, and they do splash. And so there's some environmental groups who were upset that, Starlink is dumping their trash in the oceans, and there's like, well, would you rather us dump this on land somewhere that we can go pick it up and possibly hit somebody, or just dump some heavy metal into the ocean?
I would imagine just the ocean, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'm thinking from a pollution standpoint.
You're talking about a piece of metal, not plastics that's going to end up being consumed by the fish and then ultimately by us. This is not something that's going to show up in the garbage patch floating around in the Pacific. This is just metal that sinks to the bottom,
Right.
whatever's left of it. And it's fascinating, too, because when they're ready to deorbit these satellites, they get them tumbling. So as they're tumbling, bouncing along the atmosphere, that's what creates the fire and totally destroys them. Really fascinating technology. But they also were trying to get out to 100,000 satellites.
Yeah.
100,000 satellites. And that's just Starlink, because then you're going to have the Amazon Blue Origin. They want to do their 20 to 100,000 satellites, and then you get the Chinese want to do their 100,000 satellites, and before long you got 500,000 satellites buzzing around the Earth. Good luck trying to get a rocket up. Space is big, but I mean,
500,000 of anything is going to
be
create
problems.
Traffic.
Yeah, create the Kuiper Belt, where you have the one collision, and then you got all these millions of parts flying around, destroying everything. Good luck. Then you get the what was it? The Gravity? Was that what was the movie with
Matt Damon?
No, not Matt Damon. The she was in Speed, and Sandra Bullock, and then George Clooney movie. What movie was that? She was an astronaut. They were up there in the space station, and I don't know.
Haggai, somebody asked, do you know how many Amazon trucks drive BR streets during a 24-hour period? I figured you wouldn't know that.
No, I have no. A lot.
Amazon would know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I mean, more than two.
That's an interesting question, though. That's a lot.
Yeah, Gravity. Okay, thanks, Troy. Well, I thought it was Gravity. Love the internet.
It's a lot. I mean, the Amazon trucks. I mean, that's my only answer. Is it's a lot. $7:05. Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 2 coming your way right now. Brian here with you. Bree Lynn producing. Got a busy second hour, y'all. Mason Batts from the mayor's office could be coming by. They've rolled out a cool program that I want to dive into, talking about helping out the homeless in Baton Rouge and cleaning up Baton Rouge. And these two things are not mutually exclusive. Also this hour, we got Crimestoppers coming your way at 7:35. Lieutenant Don Coppola is going to be by, seeing if we can't catch some bad guys. So busy hour to get to. We are at 75 degrees to start off the 7 o'clock hour. And, of course, we're broadcasting live from the 180 Pro studio. I'll tell you about them right after we hit top stories and trending. Downgraded again. The team at Colorado State University has once again scaled back their prediction for the 2026 hurricane season. Now they're calling for 9 named storms, 4 hurricanes, 1 major. Bear in mind, the average season is 14 named storms. Also, bear in mind, we've already had one of them. This is a drill. This is only a drill. Today and tomorrow, East Feliciana Parish Sheriff's Office will be conducting an active shooter training at the Silliman Institute in Clinton. They do this every summer. They rotate which school they do it at, but they do it every summer, and they want you to know that if you're out that way, you will see a heavy law enforcement presence, but just note, this is not an actual crisis. A site plan has been approved for a new Veterans Affairs outpatient clinic in St. George. However, there are still some concerns about the future traffic issues in the clinic's area. The clinic is going to be built out on Rieger Road in the northwest corner of the Picu Lane and Rieger Road intersection. It's not going to be open until 2029. An alleged drug dealer is now charged with manslaughter as well. Take you back to late February. A St. George man was found dead in his apartment with a bag of white powder next to him. That bag contained a lethal mix of fentanyl and heroin. Text messages on the deceased's phone led detectives to 36-year-old Robert McKay for selling the drugs the day before. McKay was arrested this week, and yes, manslaughter is included in those charges. Every criminal court judge in New Orleans says they will not handle the case involving Attorney General Liz Murrell's recent indictment on allegations that she threatened local officials over their response to state lawmakers dissolving an Orleans Parish Clerk of Court position. The Louisiana Supreme Court will have to appoint an ad hoc judge over a case. Or, and hear me out, just throw it away. Is that even in the cards here? Sorry.
Right?
Yeah, go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Graham Plattner announced Wednesday night that he is suspending his campaign and will withdraw from the ballot in Maine's Senate race.
Oh, I don't know. I hear the headlines on this. I hear the stories about it all the time. For the last 2 weeks or so, 3 weeks or so, people pulling their endorsements out from under them and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't have the bandwidth to care about a senatorial race in Maine. I know there's only 100 senators out there. I get that. And every one of them is valuable. I understand that. But
And the story wouldn't be as big as it is if the allegations against him. But the fact that, and now national media is picking it up. They even asked President Trump his thoughts on it. But it's Maine.
Yeah.
So we're Louisiana. No, I get it. So Michigan is the first state to surpass 1,000 cases of gross cyclosporiasis, also known as the explosive diarrhea, as 20 states are now reporting cases.
Congratulations, Michigan. You got the foie.
Right. 23 cases here in Louisiana.
Do we have 23 cases in Louisiana?
Yes. As of yesterday's report, the CDC said we had 23 cases here.
Okay.
So
that's all right.
And it's CDC's being told, saying, wash your hands, which you shouldn't
should
have
be doing anyway.
You shouldn't have to tell somebody to wash their hands.
That's so stupid.
It's gross.
Wash your hands. Oh, is that what's taken? All right. That just.
Right.
By the way, when the recommendation is that simple, nobody takes it seriously anyway.
No.
So, fruits and vegetables are where you're going to find this. So that's what it's connected to, as I understand it.
Yeah, fruits, leafy greens, drinking water. It's been linked back to drinking water.
water.
Yes, it's been
Ooh.
linked back to drinking water.
Okay.
Because, you got to think when it goes down the toilet and eventually.
No, that goes to a different system.
I know. Oh, gross. Gross. Okay, last hour we did talk about Hubits and the 2 special pie flavors, but, Brian, I'm going to give you a new story. So the Emmy nominations are out, and I figure you would appreciate this one. So The Pit, I've been watching that one. That's a phenomenal show. lead all nominees with 25 for its dominant sophomore season. Guess what else made the cut? Apple TV's Shrinking, which you started watching.
Yep.
Also had a strong showing with 10 nominations, including a comedy series nod.
Yeah. Shrinking, by the way, Jason Segel from, was it How I Met Your Mother, forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Harrison Ford's in that
Harrison Ford is in that as well. They both play psychiatrists.
Yeah.
And Jason Segel's going through his own breakdown, going through his own crisis as a grieving, his wife had died.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing show. We're only 5 episodes in.
I'm only
but
2.
It's an amazing roller coaster of emotion. Also in there, I didn't realize Hacks was still in the air.
Yes, they're actually, so it's its final season, and they lead the way for a graduation party, I guess we would call it, with a record setting of 24 to lead all comedies.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. Now, The Pit, Brian, I highly recommend. It's so good. The Pit.
Isn't it just like
on HBO
ER
Max.
2.0?
Yeah, but it's just the acting is superb, and they make it so relatable because what they cover the COVID era. They take real life scenarios and then they put it into that show, and so it's really, I would say it's so much better than ER. And obviously, it's not Grey's Anatomy because everybody's not dating each other in The Pit, you know.
Well, but I mean, it's ER because of Noah Wyle.
Yeah.
Who was in
ER. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And so, in Shrinking, I'm on episode 2, so I got to keep watching. You said it's really good.
Yeah. Wait till you get episode. My favorite scene so far comes from episode 3.
Okay.
And it involves Ted McGinley, and it is. I would show it to you, but there's a
you don't
spoiler.
Want to spoil it.
There's about to be something at the end of episode 2. Something's about to happen going into episode 3. I don't even want to spoil that.
And I'm going to say the humor in Shrinking. Oh gosh, it has me giggling.
Yeah, because it's all over the map. There's a lot of smart humor and a lot of dumb humor.
Yeah.
So, and Harrison Ford is so dry.
I know.
So good. All right, before we hit our first break of the hour, I want to remind you about 180 Pros. 180pros.com is the website. Small business owners specifically, how comfortable are you with your level of protection when it comes to cybersecurity? We've seen some stories in the recent past. This is things that made headlines very, very recently, in fact, where your network might not be as secure as you think it is. Hackers can get in through any backdoor available. Are you comfortable with your level of cybersecurity? If you're not, you might need to think about moving from an IT provider to an IT partner. Having someone who's not just going to have a security plan in place, but will be standing watch for you. You can learn more at 180pros.com, 180pros.com, or give them a call. They're right here locally, 225-330-2200. Offices on Sherwood Forest Boulevard. So if the worst case scenario ever happens and your whole network goes down, they're here. They're not trying to dial into a system that's not dialed up. You learn more at 180pros.com. What you say, Mason? I know, man. I was rather serendipitous that you got some stuff going on that's new. I know. Right? I was rolling through yesterday and I'm like, man, I need something that's really worth talking about at 7:15. And I said, I haven't checked in with the mayor's office in a while, so.
Yeah, I think we got something pretty good.
Yeah. We're going to have some fun.
I think this is revolutionary. We're paying for this opioid dollars. And I can tell you there's no city in America doing this kind of work with opioid dollars because they don't have a program where they're taking 300 people off the streets that were homeless, that were, drug addicted, and to be able to say we're using this money for workforce development now. But they're really doing a great job, so it's pretty exciting.
Yes.
I asked where you were the other day, Mason, because I do all the Texas Club shows for Tiger.
Uh-huh.
And anyways, Mayor walks in, and I know most of y'all from the staff.
Uh-huh.
And anyways, I'm looking around, I'm like, y'all all here, but where's Mason? And they were like, not here.
Not here, no. But I was telling them that they told me that I-10 bound band was there. They're really good.
They were good.
I heard them in.
They kept going on later and later, so we were trying to get Mayor up there so
Yeah.
y'all could leave, but they kept playing, and so but they were so good.
Yeah, I heard them in Florida last year. I was just there for some reason, and there was this great cover band,
And then they said, yeah, we're here from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's like, what are the chances? So I had to go meet them.
And they're so sweet. They're so friendly.
They're very nice people. Yeah.
They played the song. They have a new song. It's Scars and Stripes, talking about the people who played, who have fought overseas, etc. It's an emotional, patriotic song.
Oh.
And they played it for the first time at Texas Club. They're about to put it out. And I'm like, oh,
Cool.
they're sweet guys.
Yeah, very cool people.
$7:15, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Mason Batts from the mayor's office in the house with us. We're going to get to him in just a quick second. I do need to remind you about the folks over at Neurojust, neurojust.com, Neurojust. If you or someone you know and love is battling with anxiety or depression and has thus far been treatment resistant, let me tell you what that means. You've done the sit-down, talk-it-out therapy, doesn't really take. You've been given the prescription drugs, the antidepressants. You hate the way you feel on them. You're not getting the returns that you want to see on them. Flush them. Go visit Neurojust. They'll go to battle to make sure your insurance company's picking up the tab, and you will be treated just spectacularly from start to finish. Went by the office the other day, sat down in the chair, did a little sample of the therapy, took the TMS machine for a test drive. By the way, TMS stands for transcranial magnetic stimulation. It is remarkably accurate and remarkably just non-invasive, pain-free. It's just a very, very, very simple procedure. Now you're going to run through a few dozen treatments over time, but the level of ease of use and simplicity combined with the level of care provided by the team at Neurojust can't be replaced. Learn more at neurojust.com. All right, Mason Batts in the house. Mayor's office is on to something new and, dare I say, pretty cool. How are you, man?
I'm doing good, Brian. It's been a little while.
It has been. It has been. I get admittedly distracted during the legislative session, and then post-session I have to recap session. And when you have 2,500 items considered in a 3-month legislative session, that's
and 18 counts of indictments with the Attorney General. I'm sure you've had a lot to talk about.
Yes. 18 counts and everybody in agreement that it's garbage.
Right.
Every judge now recusing themselves, saying, I'm not touching this.
Yes.
So, it's time to dial back in on matters of the city parish, if you will. So, what's the latest, man? What you got cooking?
So, one of the things we're working on right now is kind of a revolutionary plan. So, when the mayor ran several years ago, one of the things he talked about was he wanted to have a clean city. Well, as you know, there's a lot that goes into having a clean city. It's not just picking up the trash, all this stuff. Take, for instance, you drive down College Drive today. You'll see under the interstates, you have these medians, and they have pretty much trees growing in them. They're concrete medians.
Yup.
And then there's weeds all over the city growing in all these medians. So we were trying to think of a way. Of course, we have a reduced workforce now, and we don't have the money we always had. So we're trying to be very creative with the resources we had. Well, we have this amazing homeless program who has taken over 300 people off the streets and either put them through rehab or sent them to somewhere else in the United States to a loved one. And but the ones that have gone through rehab and have stayed here are now in sober living, and they're actually in a workforce program.
Love this.
So what we've done is we've taken we're starting small. We're hoping to expand it, but we've taken and put in 2 teams on the streets that started last week with the Grove, who is the Recovery Center, and United BR. They are our partners. So they live, these formerly homeless individuals live in a house, the sober living house, where they have to pay rent. And by us using our opioid settlement dollars that we as a city get to pay these people to do this work, we're giving them workforce training as a part of their recovery, and we're getting a great service to the citizens. So if you drive down Acadian Thruway today, what you'll see is a team of formerly homeless people out there raking grass because it got so tall and we had to go and cut it ourselves. But they're raking the grass and scooping it in a skid steer and putting it in a dumpster, and we're hauling the dumpsters off, just making the city look good. If you drive down the medians, you won't see any grass in the medians. And when the winter comes, they're going to come and paint those medians, and they're going to spray them off to make them all clean and new again.
Very, very cool stuff. All right, now let's talk about how we get from point A to point B right there, because this is a process that It honestly involves a lot of care and a lot of attention. But this is not something that you're going to see from city to city, because when you talk about homeless problems from city to city, it makes it sound like, well, they're just sweeping them up to move them out, and that's part of it if they have relatives to turn to, but a lot of times they don't.
Right.
So talk to me a little bit about the process of going from the street to the rehab to the sober living.
So the one thing is you have to do it with a sense of care for the individuals. You have to care about them.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just the sweeping them up. You're gonna have a short-term solution, but you can have a really long-term problem.
Right.
So when you go at it, and they may have to talk, the people on our homeless outreach team, they may have to talk to an individual 5-6 times before they agree to come on board and go into treatment, or to take the bus ticket somewhere. And when we give them a bus ticket, we have to contact the family, a family member, to know they're going to be there to pick them up. So we don't just ship them off somewhere.
Wishing
else.
the best of luck. Yeah, no,
But
that's not that.
But once they go into treatment, that's a 27-day program at the Grove. Once they get out of the Grove, they're going into sober living, where they're getting constant counseling. It's total wraparound services. And after about 3 months of that, that's when they start getting introduced into some workforce training. It's somewhere along the way in various different fields. I'll give you an example. One of the guys who's in our program right now used to run a road striping crew. So at some point, hopefully, we'll be able to put him on a road striping crew again.
Okay.
And he can help stripe roads. So some of them already have training, others don't. So, and these people have lost everything. Many times they don't have a driver's license. They don't have a social security number. So we have to go get all that stuff from them. But our groups with United BR and the Grove, who are our partners in this, are just world class. And honestly, they've created what I think is a national model, and not only how to deal with homelessness, but how to have a long-term solution to get them back on the street and productive members of society. And one point I really want to make: we can track the amount of tax dollars that these individuals are paying. Just in the individuals that we've gotten off the street in the past 18 months have contributed over $1 million in local tax money.
Really?
To our area. Yep.
This is money that went from opioid settlement to recovery to now tax dollars that funnels back into the city. You want to talk about the turnover of dollars? I mean, I don't want to call this it's not its own industry. That makes it it's cold to put it that way. But when you look at how the numbers play out, the numbers will recycle that way.
Absolutely. And, we have a workforce, and let's expand this a little bit beyond just what we're doing with the city, but we have a workforce shortage, as you know, with all of these data centers and plants that are opening up now. These people are, like I said, a lot of times they come from some of those worlds, and they're ready to get back into work again. I mean, they want it really, really bad. They're the hardest working people you've ever seen. So I think this really could become, like I said, a national model for other places. And
it's important to remember, first of all, nobody's going to bat 1,000. Nobody's going to bat 1,000. That's an important part to remember. But the flip side of that is every one that is a success story is a success in and of itself.
Right.
And by the way, it's not about the money. It's not about the work. It's about the purpose.
Right.
And that's one of the things that gets lost in the whole scenario is if you help someone find themselves again, instead of being lost in addiction, and any other kind of mental illness that springs off from addiction, and that just there's a level of redemption there that's bigger than any political thing you're going to throw around. So let's talk about, now they're at the sober living part. All right, they're in the house. How long can they stay at the house? Is that open ended?
I believe it's open ended. I've heard of guys being over there over 12 months. So
okay.
I'm not sure if but the goal is eventually to get them into permanent housing.
100%.
But they've got to be able to support themselves.
Right.
So they're paying rent to live where they are, and that's with the jobs that they have. Once they are in a position where they can eventually have their own house and continue going to counseling, because they have to hit certain benchmarks in the program. Once they're out of rehab, that's just the first part. Then they've got at least 9 months of complete wraparound. You got to hit all these benchmarks specifically. Then it loosens up a little bit, but you're still having to and you mentioned, no one's going to bat 1,000. The success rate we're seeing in the people who complete at least the 27 days is about 87%. So you have a 13%
Wow,
fail rate.
that's higher than I thought. That's
much
better than I
higher,
thought.
much higher than people would think. And now that we have certain laws coming from that legislative session you mentioned, it's actually becoming a little easier for us because we can write people a summons or make them spend a night or two in parish prison. They're much more likely that second time to say, no, I think I'll take the treatment this time.
We got Mason Batson with us from the mayor's office talking about just a remarkable program, taking people from homelessness, addiction, living on the street to a productive life on the back end. Now, let's go back to the benchmark part of this, because I think an important part of this is, it's great that they're doing some work for the city, but we want to see them, for those that want to go down this path, learning a trade, something that's longer term, maybe higher earning along the way. Because while they're being paid for their services for what that's 100% sure, but like getting off on your own path is a big part of this. So what does that end look like? Is there did you mention workforce training in there?
Absolutely.
All right, take me through that part, because I love that part.
All right, so here's the vision. You ready, Brian?
Yeah.
Our partners, the Grove United BR, are in talks to buy a site in East Baton Rouge Parish. I don't want to reveal where it is, so someone bids against them. But they're going to be buying this site. They're closing soon, and on this site, they're going to be building a new rehab facility. But also, what they're going to do is groups like, I take example, ABC may come on that site and build a workforce training hub just for these individuals. So they're going to learn all kinds of stuff. Take Hyundai Steel, they're coming here. They want to be a part of this with some of these people. So there's a lot of investment in the workforce training. We're getting them trained in heavy equipment operations so they can run some tractors for us. We have a lot of things that need to be done. So yes, training is probably the biggest aspect of this. But I'll tell you, we didn't create the part of these. These people needed jobs anyway. They were coming. The folks at United BR were coming to us saying, "Can you help us with people in the business community? We got to help these people get some jobs." And I was kind of thinking, well, wait a minute, we need some labor here too. So how many do you need to get jobs? Because there are a lot that are working in private industry already.
Right.
They just don't have enough. So hopefully, with us kind of showing this is what we can do here, some private industry will say, "Oh wow!" And I'm telling you, they are So I told you they're on Acadian today. If you go tomorrow, they'll be on College. And just take a look.
Very, very cool stuff. And yeah, the workforce part of this is a big part of this, because that's the problem you have when Susan Bourgeois is out there kicking butt and taking names and bringing $100 billion worth of investment back into the state. Is whoa, we got to fill these jobs.
Right.
But it's so twofold though. I can't get past the purpose. The purpose part to me is helping people find themselves, just where they want to be headed in life, and not just drifting.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Is there a ceiling here? Is there a max on how many people can? Because you said 300 so far.
You have 300 so far.
So there's more out there. There's a lot more out there. Is there a cap on what we're capable of?
Well, right now we're struggling with number of beds. I think there's 97 beds at the Grove right now. That's why they're going to be opening up a new site in Baker. But I will say there's also been talks. This program has been so successful that the governor's office has actually reached out and asked about expanding this into some other cities that might be down the road somewhere. And so I think if we can get some more beds at the Baker site, which is going to be endless, that's going to help us go a little further. But I think when we came in, the estimates were that there were somewhere around 450 to 550 homeless people in East Baton Rouge Parish. We think that was probably a little low. We think it's less than 1,000, but we think we've probably gotten somewhere between 40 to 50% of the total homeless people that were on the streets when this started off. So we're going to continue to work that here, but there are some other places that need help too.
He is Mason Batts with the mayor's office. Man, it's an amazing program, and this has really been one of those more underrated pieces of what Coach has been going after. Look, right after he was elected, that winter there was a freeze. I'm going to remember this the rest of my life. There was a freeze. His first stop was every homeless shelter out there to make sure every bed was full, that there was nobody literally left out in the cold.
Absolutely.
And
that's one thing I want to add, Brian, is that's the importance of this program. Too many of the homeless programs that have tried to do this before and are still trying to do it aren't focused on the most important thing, which is a job. These
Right.
people have got to have a job when they come out of sober living, or they won't have a chance.
Yeah, no, because there with the job is the purpose. And by the way,
Absolutely.
with the group home is a network.
Absolutely.
And that we didn't even get to that.
Yep.
But it's very, very cool stuff. Mason Batts from the mayor's office. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brian.
We're at 7:30 at Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. We're going to check news. We'll check traffic. We'll check weather. Lieutenant Don Coppola is in next with Crimestoppers. See if we can't catch a couple bad guys. Very cool stuff.
Got to bring Trevor with the Grove up here.
Yeah, well, I've talked to him before. It's been a couple years since he's been
really, really good.
Yeah.
So actually, how this came up was the governor's office called me, and
Oh, are we? Do you want to be off?
yeah,
or-
definitely.
Yeah.
So glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. I like that shirt.
Thank you so much.
I know. That's a cool little shirt.
I'm trying to get like you.
I bought this shirt at Mervin's in 1998.
And that's the good quality it is.
Yeah. I don't lift up my arms because there might be holes. I don't know.
Mervin, y'all. Damn.
I do like that Eagle shirt. That's a cool shirt.
This is
I
cheapo.
like the color.
Thank you. I don't even think we have any of these
Oh,
anymore.
it is.
Ship them to Cutie. Yeah, finally got me some creamer done. I bought it like 2 weeks ago, and I just kept forgetting to bring it.
You kept forgetting to bring it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can always use it too, by the way.
Oh, I'm good. I'm just
You a black coffee?
I'm a
drinker?
black coffee drinker.
So is Brian. So is Scott. I don't know how y'all do that.
No, it took some adjustment.
I can't.
I had to do it in, when you're younger, I had the whole coffee milk, which was more sugar, milk, and a splash of coffee.
Yes.
More sugar than anything.
Milk and sugar. No
Oh
coffee
my
hardly,
goodness!
yeah.
And then I switched to just cream, and then from cream to black. So
When I was
it took a lot of
Brian,
steps.
I did black and I did just cream. I gotta have this blender.
Yeah.
I know it's not healthy for you, but
Well, I mean, what is?
right? Can I kick it? Yes, you can.
737 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. We are getting you to Crimestoppers in just a quick second. I do need a moment to remind you about the folks at the Baton Rouge Metro Airport. Home base online is flybtr.com, flybtr.com, making your travel plans for LSU football season. There's a handful of home games and a handful of away games that there are direct flights built out for. Delta's handling that end. Knoxville to take on Tennessee. Nope. It's Lexington to take on Kentucky, then Knoxville to take on Tennessee. Or if you're bringing folks in from Clemson, Texas, or Alabama, they've got you taken care of. Now, in the meanwhile, don't forget about that daily flight to Reagan National in our nation's capital. Flying out every morning at 7 o'clock. In fact, it's in the air right now on its way to our nation's capital. And you fly home same evening. Don't even have to make a hotel reservation in D.C. if you don't want to. You can sleep in your own bed. Learn more at flybtr.com. All right, time for Crimestoppers. Morning, Don.
Good morning, Brian. How are you?
I ain't even said anything funny yet. Why are you laughing?
As you're doing the BTR commercial, you say nope, looking at me like I gave the wrong answer, and I'm like, what did I say?
What? No, you didn't say anything. I
know.
I like to get the accurate information out there, and I was about to mistake Tennessee and Kentucky together. So stopped myself mid-sentence. I have the proper amount of caffeine in me to realize I was making a mistake.
Okay.
And the proper amount of caffeine to keep going too fast.
You saw that, didn't you?
So.
Yeah. And then Don was like, "Hey, Brian, you okay?" And he's like, "I'm fine."
Good morning.
Good morning. How are things?
Oh, things are great. I'm so glad to be here.
That's awesome. I'm always glad to have you in.
Thank you.
For sure. Coffee's good this morning?
Oh, it's amazing. I made a fresh pot.
You did?
For you.
Awesome. Very well. You know I'm done with coffee by now, right? Like, I appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. But I don't.
Wow.
I'm 3 cups in, boss.
That's okay.
All right.
Goodness.
All right. It's greatly appreciated.
If anyone out there would like coffee, I just made a fresh pot.
Okay.
Stop
929 Government Street. Why not? Come on by. Don's got you covered with coffee. Anything going on in Crimestoppers this week?
Man, it's been a good week. It's always a great week in Crimestoppers. Why? Because we get anonymous calls, anonymous tips that lead to information to assist investigators in the identification and the arrest of those wanted individuals. But before we start, I want to let everyone know this Saturday from 5 to 9 at Electric Pickle, on government.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a pickleball for heroes event. So it's not the Crimestoppers pickleball tournament. This is something that the general manager of Electric Pickle, Xander, is doing.
Man, they named it Electric Pickle.
So, I mean, it's pretty catchy.
Because it's at Electric Depot.
Right.
No, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. So half the proceeds will go to the fire department. The other will go to Crimestoppers. Any public safety and their family will play for free. There's going to be live music. There's going to be food and drinks. So it'll be a great event. Saturday from 5 to 9 at Electric Pickle.
All right. 5 to 9 at Electric Pickle this Saturday. Which, by the way, it's the Electric Depot right across the tracks from us right here.
Right.
Like what? 4 blocks? 3 blocks from here?
If that.
If that.
It's a really nice.
It's a fantastic venue.
It really is.
And, great venue, indoor and outdoor, to be sure. You'll play a little pickleball, which continues to grow in popularity, and I continue to be baffled by it.
Well, we're still waiting on you to get on the court.
I'm okay.
So Saturday night, 5 to 9.
That might not be a no. Let me double check. That might not be a no. I might be in. Let me double check.
I hope so.
Yeah, we're gonna. I don't need to be going through my schedule in my head right now. I can't get Tennessee and Kentucky straight. So
if you had another cup of coffee, you could have.
As well, possibly. I'm just saying. Like okay. I'm just saying. Electric Pickle sounds like something completely different.
Capital Region Crimestoppers Facebook page.
Yeah, let's start at the Facebook page.
Let's start there.
Let's do that.
Of course, we have our kiosk program. You may have seen those around.
Mm-hmm.
Great place to. We have them in high populated areas, motor vehicles, different courthouses. We're going to put them in, and with people sitting and waiting. Put wanted fugitives, put missing, whatever information that business may have. Also, it's a great resource for us. And as people are sitting waiting to be called, for instance, at the DMV, they see these fugitives scroll, and they may recognize someone and contact Crimestoppers anonymously.
Gotta love that.
Great program.
And I love how the attention grabber on top of the kiosk just says cash rewards on top.
Cash rewards. I mean,
don't bury the lead.
No,
never bury the lead. It's just cash rewards right across the top. And of course, all the pertinent information is on the kiosk with the big screen right down the middle. So when you see that out and about, of course, pay attention. You might see something. You know what would be crazy?
What's that?
Is if somebody's face showed up on the kiosk in a place where that person was.
That'd be pretty
like sitting next to the kiosk.
And that person calls, and guess what? The suspect would never know who calls because Crimestoppers is anonymous.
Right. And it's 344 stop is the phone number.
344 stop or the P3 Tips app.
Yep.
You can even capture a picture on that app or a video.
Yeah. That's
get it to us.
Unbelievably valuable, to be sure. So we've got a couple of folks we're looking for as well, though, right?
We do. So Baton Rouge Police was looking for information regarding a hit and run involving a juvenile pedestrian. This occurred the latter part of May of this year, around 5 p.m. They believe a dark color compact vehicle traveling in the area of North Foster and Airline Highway struck a male juvenile as he attempted to cross the street. Luckily, the injuries were not fatal. Believed he suffered a broken leg as a result of the incident. But there's a picture of that vehicle. We have received some tips, but investigators are still looking for more information to try to wrap this investigation up. Believe the vehicle was being driven by a black female at the time of the incident. So anyone with any information, contact Crimestoppers.
North Foster Airline. I mean, that is basically like right before 110, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a high populated travel area, but what we find, Brian, is people don't want to get involved. They may see something and, oh, well, somebody else is going to call. And we would rather get repeated calls with the same information than no calls at all. We'd rather tell you, yeah, we received that information, but thank you so much for taking the time out of your day.
Of course.
To call.
But
don't assume.
The thing about repeated information is it confirms the information. That it's not superfluous. If you're giving the same tip that somebody else has already given,
yes.
You are confirming what they've already given. I said it's right by I-110. It's actually right before Plank because it'll go Plank. It'll go Plank, then 110.
Then 110.
Right.
It's in the area of the old EKL.
Yeah, not too far from there. So hit and run. Great photo of the car. Man, I mean, hindsight being 2020, you wish you could have gotten the license plate on that bad boy. But it's the full side shot of the car, so you can see the whole dadgum thing.
Moving on, we're going to go over to Ascension Parish. Ascension investigators are looking for Brandon Hoover, 46-year-old, on charges of aggravated battery, criminal trespassing, and reckless operation of a vehicle. Investigators believe that Hoover showed up at an address in Ascension Parish looking for an individual. As the car pulled up into the driveway, another individual who he wasn't looking for approached and asked if they could help him, stated that that individual was not at the residence who they were looking for. Well, Hoover is believed to have gotten frustrated while trying to back up and maneuver his way around parked vehicles, struck the individual at the home who came out to inquire what he needed, and actually drug him a few feet down the road as he was trying to leave. Yeah. So that individual. I
need backstory, Don.
Well,
I need back. Why?
Listen,
why was Hoover out there in the first place?
Well,
like, what did this guy do?
Hoover was looking for. Well, that's what I don't know. He was. He was searching for another individual, but the man who confronted him, asking if hey, what can I do for you? You need some help? Wasn't the guy he was looking for, and it just turned out bad.
Yeah, and well, I mean, things like that they never go well.
They never go well.
If you're going to hunt somebody down for whatever they might have. But now I want to know what the guy did, though. I mean, your boy Hoover didn't just go out there just for no reason.
He didn't go out there to.
There was probably a long conversation.
He wasn't delivering coffee.
There was a lot exactly. There's a lot of I just want to talk to him. I just want to talk to him, and then he ends up dragging a guy behind his car. Well done. And that dude was probably in there too. He was probably in there hiding like a coward.
And this guy
his friend
injured,
took it for him. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Whole lot of wrong going on Ascension.
Whole lot of wrong. East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office is looking for a Jonathan Ambo, 29 years old, on charges of domestic abuse, battery, strangulation, interfering with emergency communication. Investigators believe that Ambo had woken a female acquaintance while she was sleeping by wrapping his hands around her neck and squeezing, starting to strangle her to the point of her urinating on herself. It was to that extent. Very dangerous situation, very scary. A child in the room or in the house had come into the room after hearing the disturbance, which led him to stop, luckily, because who knows what could have happened if not. East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Office is looking for Jonathan Ambo on domestic abuse, battery, strangulation, and interfering with.
We gotta go. I'm sorry. Time's up.
Hey,
sorry about that. Here's your money now.
All right.
Where is your money now? Okay, there it is.
Well,
sorry, that's
was
not
awesome.
I had the Crimestoppers Facebook page open, so I didn't have my clock on.
Me too. Supposedly my German Shepherd got out again.
No.
So my phone's blowing up right
He's
now.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's fine. He's just lost.
How's he getting out?
He has an air tag on him.
No, but how does he get out?
Oh, because the people who come and mow my grass, they open my gate instead of texting Scott to make sure he was crated. So there's going to be some ash to it. And he is trained. He is trained not to run out the fucking gate.
Apparently not.
Yeah, I know, but apparently he's gotten into this bad habit now. He's picked it up lately because there's a neighbor dog. He's fixed. He just wants to go say
Go
hello.
play.
And so Scott's on the case now. Anyways.
Sorry about that. I moved over to the clock and saw we had 8 seconds.
That's really good.
Yeah.
You want some coffee?
I might actually get another cup of coffee today. Now that I know it's down there, I might actually get another cup.
All right, buddy. Have a good
Daughter's coming
weekend.
back from, she's at sleepaway camp this week, so she's coming back Saturday evening. That would be the only thing standing in my way.
Yeah, no.
So,
It's,
if I can make it out there.
Buddy, it's, and people are.
I'm Don, just hear me out. Electric pickle sounds like something a lonely woman would order online.
Wow.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna play the I'm just saying thing, I'm just saying, it sounds like a personal massager. Did you get yourself an electric pickle? You are never gonna be able to unhear that, sir. Ever.
Yeah, have a good day.
So just know.
I'll
Just
see you in
know.
2 weeks.
Hey, he's
Don.
okay, huh?
I could have said that on the
He's
air.
good. He's
I
just
could have said that on the
stupid.
air, and you would have been done for the whole segment.
I've been done.
Done for the whole segment.
Yeah, Chase is good. He's just stupid. He's a dumbass. I don't know if you ever heard of Larry Benoit. He's like,
The name rings a bell.
apparently he's like a really good dog trainer in town, damn good. He even works with some of the canines. It's just a German Shepherd. Don't ever get one.
I'll have two.
Really? I find they're stupid as hell.
Oh, no, they're smart.
I know
smart
they're
as a whip.
smart. It's just, I'm so ready to get rid of him.
What would you get next?
I just wouldn't get a dog because we have 2 cats and I'm fostering one, but the foster is about to go to her new mom when she gets back from overseas.
See,
I just don't want a
think
dog.
it's beneficial as far as.
I know, but a German Shepherd's fucking stupid. I should have never got it. I should have never got it. Or if we would have got a dog, he's 2, so I can't bitch. He's a puppy.
He's a baby.
I know.
He's a baby. So I have two. I have one that's about to go to puppy heaven.
Aw,
She's like
Don.
14.
Don't, I know, but don't tell. That's depressing as hell. Jesus, Don. I know she's about to go to puppy heaven.
She's she's outlived the lifespan.
I was gonna say, show me a picture.
For nearly 50 years, Gulf Coast Office Products has been
Yeah, German Shepherds are some of the smartest dogs out there.
And I
That's why that's why the police use them so often.
I think the reason we don't work him enough, we
Yeah.
really need to be working him like all day long. We need to be working him. And so, being as busy as we are, we shouldn't have got that breed, if that makes sense. Like we should have got a different breed, like maybe a golden retriever or something. But aren't they working dogs too? I don't know. We shouldn't have got a dog.
Retrievers are often service dogs, but like when you see like bomb sniffing dogs or drug sniffing dogs, they're all more often than not German Shepherds. They pick up commands in under a day.
Look how cute, Brian. What's the one that's like that? Oh, look how cute, Brian.
She's 14. She has hip dysplasia real bad.
The German
There
Shepherds
was
do.
him, but she didn't
Yeah.
have a replicable breed.
A lot of German Shepherds get hip dysplasia.
I mean, that's
I knew
large
that.
dogs anyway.
We have, the line we have is a European bloodline German Shepherd. The dad was a show winning dog. So we paid.
That's Luna.
Nice. I love the cigar.
Let me see.
It looks like a cigar, doesn't it?
Shut up. He's holding a cigar.
Smoking a big old Churchill.
I love it. Did he go to Don Juan's? I love it, Don.
That dog is so proud of that stick.
I know.
7:55, Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. You heard the story from our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network, talking with Attorney General Liz Murrill about the athlete agent registration portal. We talked with the AG about that a week ago today, actually. We'll dive back in just a quick second. Got to remind you about the folks over at Mathern's. You know where to find them. They're downtown on 3rd Street. They're in the Nicholson Gateway. Bye, Don! They're in the Nicholson Gateway Shopping Center right there on LSU's campus. And, of course, the OG location, Highland Road, just west of Kenilworth. I hit up Mathern's for all my 4th of July meat, throwing a bunch of stuff on the grill. That was awesome, but the 4th of July is in the rearview mirror. And I was checking out the new deals this week. Man, remember when everybody was, like, complaining about the price of eggs being through the roof? What if I told you that you got to clip the coupon, obviously, but you get a dozen Food Club large eggs for 49 cents? Not bad. Not bad. You clip the deal on the app. You clip all the deals on the app, whatever you're picking up, whether it be potato chips, pasta, cookies. I'm just scrolling through the coupons they've got this week. Kraft cheese, Grand's biscuits. It's $1 here, $1 there. Pretty soon you start talking real money. And on top of that, you earn cash towards more groceries every time you shop. And it's just that simple. Download the app, clip the deal within the app, let them scan the barcode when you get to the front, and it does all the mathing for you. I love using my Mathern's Rewards app, and you can be taking advantage of those same deals at Mathern's. So, there's a new state law. There's a new state law that requires agents to register with the state if they are representing college or high school athletes in negotiating NIL deals. We had AG Murrill on about this last week. Our news partners at Louisiana Radio Network caught up with her as well. Murrill says the athlete agent registration portal went live on July 1st. Cut 10, please.
Anyone who is representing themselves as an agent for an athlete has to register through that portal, and they will have to go through some training.
Which is so awesome, because this will go a long way to help protect athletes along the way from being exploited by a bad relative. That's the first place I'm seeing, right? Is the uncle who wants to make a couple dollars during AAU season, right? Now, you can get to the portal by logging onto the AG's website. You start with her website, Cut 11.
I've had some really great people helping build this process and this portal. We had an outside vendor that actually built the portal, and so it mirrors some of the portals that are being used in other states where they require this registration. Which,
good to see that we're on that page, right? It's good to see that as this wide world, this wild west of NIL continues to evolve, the more responsible constraints there are, the better. And it's to protect everybody. Not just the student athlete, but there's a level of protection for that agent as well. Universities and high schools are encouraged to share information about agent registration requirements and athlete rights as a result of Senate Bill 389 that was approved earlier this year. Murrill says that legislation gives her office the tools to ensure that those who seek to profit from athletes are held to rigorous standards of conduct. Cut 12.
Making sure that agents have some oversight as they are involved in basically negotiating NIL, name, image, and likeness contracts for athletes in this state.
Because the number of things that can go wrong it's a list. I mean, number one, you want to avoid the shady deal. You want to avoid the deal that gets the student athlete in trouble further down the road. Number two, you need to make sure everything's on the up and up so the student athlete is getting theirs. Get your bag, right? Number three, you don't want today's deal affecting tomorrow's game. So I'm loving to see this evolution. When we had the AG on last Thursday, that audio is available on demand at talk1073.com. We went into this topic at length. We had two different topics we covered, and this was the second one. So if you want to check it out, check out our website, talk1073.com. Yeah. In today's folder or on today's rundown? Tad Divine? Yeah, it's going to be for tomorrow. Okay. Did I make a folder for, was it for the 9th or the 10th? It's for the 9th? Yeah, I didn't want to skip ahead because I didn't want to, I didn't want to confuse you all, so I just saved it for. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure I'm going to play it at all. It wasn't that good. No. But .806 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. Hour 3 coming your way right now. Brian here with you, Breland producing. The 8 o'clock hour starting off at 79 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge as we broadcast live from the 180 Pros studio. We got a stacked up hour for you this hour, y'all. State Representative Vanessa LaFleur is battling traffic right now, hoping to be here on time. If not, we've done it before, not with Vanessa, but we've done it before, but we can do it again, where we start an interview on the phone and finish it in person. That's been a thing. That's happened before. So hopefully traffic will abide, and Representative LaFleur will get in. We won't have to worry about it. But she had a busy legislative session, and wanted to recap a good bit of it. Actually, we've got so much to cover with her that I need to shut up so that we can get moving. Let's go ahead. Now's the time that we do this day in history.
Going all the way back to 1815, the Congress of Vienna ends. Following the Napoleonic Wars, the historic assembly concluding, officially redrawing the political map of Europe. Way back when.
Okay.
1815, way back when.
All right.
1934, Donald Duck made his debut. I thought that was pretty cool. I said, I'll throw it in today.
Wait, what, today?
Today, in 1934. His first ever appearance in the Walt Disney cartoon, The Wise Little Hen.
Okay.
1943, U.S. President FDR signs the Current Tax Payment Act into law, requiring taxes to be withheld from workers' wages and paid directly to the federal government.
All right.
There was a reason for this. In particular, wasn't it? I feel like I learned in history class it was a whole World War II. Correct? Like to help. I could be maybe completely wrong, but
I don't know.
I don't know either. But there was a reason for this in particular.
So before you go any further, I need to make a correction.
Okay.
Everything that I had for yesterday was for today. Everything I had yesterday was today. Yep.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
1958, Johnny Cash signed with Columbia Records where he would remain for the next 30 years. Get this, releasing over 60 albums. I never knew that Johnny Cash released 60 albums.
Okay,
Man,
but but how many of them were live?
Right.
It's not 60 albums worth of new songs. Right. I mean, if you had Johnny Cash, then Johnny Cash live from Folsom Prison.
Oh, that's true. Okay. I'm sitting there thinking our man's just cranking them out.
No. I mean, I don't know how many of them fall into that category,
right.
But how many of you were getting the same songs?
In live albums.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, in 1959, the nuclear-powered subs came into existence. The U.S. Navy launched USS George Washington, the world's first ever nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine.
Okay.
1959. 1973, Secretariat wins the Triple Crown, securing the American Triple Crown and setting a world record that still stands.
Wait. Okay.
I think. It was on this day. It was definitely on this day in history today. While you're looking that up, 1983, and I had to put this one in here because John, what is it? Senator Kennedy, Thatcher's second term.
Hang on.
Yeah.
That was June 9th.
June 9th. Wait, I think I'm making the same mistake you are, Brian.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, what you got for this day?
Rock Around this day in 1955, Rock Around the Clock became the first rock song to hit number 1 on the U.S. pop charts. This day in 1956, Dick Clark took over as the host of American Bandstand. This day in 1982, to bring it back locally, today was the Pan Am flight 759 that crashed in Kenner, killing 146 people on board, 8 people on the ground. Movies released today in 1999 was American Pie. 2004, Anchorman came out, and Despicable Me in 2010.
Pretty cool stuff. What do you have for birthdays? Let me see.
So O.J. Simpson, for sure.
Yep.
Was born on this day in 1947. And that is what I've got right now.
I have Tom Hanks. And
Tom Hanks was the
triple
other one.
chat. Yeah, 69 years old. Courtney Love, 61. Jack White, 50. That's all I have that's notable enough.
I've got just a couple more real quick. Give me one quick second to move over to another site because I was bouncing between 3 of them. And yeah, I don't know how I ended up on today yesterday.
And I made the mistake of reading off June. So I apologize that. Yeah, everything was June 9th for this day in history. Shoots.
Yep. The only other birth. Yeah, I had Tom Hanks on the birthdays as well. And as far as deaths was
I
concerned,
don't have anybody notable.
Ross Perot was who I had.
Okay.
Ross Perot died on this day in 2019.
National Day today, National Sugar Cookie Day.
Okay. Love a sugar
I
cookie.
know. I do too.
Well, but really isn't every cookie a sugar cookie? I mean, a cookie without sugar
Technically, yes.
a cookie without sugar is a cracker.
Every cookie tastes brown sugar.
Yeah.
If you want to do it right, a regular sugar.
So, all right. Well, as messed up as that was.
I know. I cannot believe I ended up going June 9th. I made that same mistake.
Why, when you said Secretariat,
I was like,
because I remembered us covering that because Secretariat won by 31 links.
Yes.
Which was the record within that. So just that's the one that brought me back to it. I'm like, this is all starting to sound vaguely familiar. So.
Yep.
We're at 8:12 at Talk 107.3 FM WBRP. Before we take our break, let me tell you just very quickly about Industry Makes. IndustryMakes.org is the website. IndustryMakes.org is a united front of industry in Louisiana. IndustryMakes.org. Signed on to be a sponsor for our legislator coverage. We'll have more on that later on. But so the business is up and down the river, right? The industry's up and down the river. They need somebody who has the messaging straight. Not the stuff, not the headlines that you're going to see when people are protesting left and right, but who's got the straight facts? Forget about the rhetoric. Give me just the facts. That's what IndustryMakes.org is all about. And when it comes to the businesses up and down the industry, they're too busy making the products that run the world, fuel the world, keep everybody moving, keep everybody employed. They're so busy making everything else that, well, who is handling messaging? And are things slipping through the cracks? That's where IndustryMakes.org steps in. If you want to learn more about some of the frequently myth bustings that go on, if you want to learn more about some of the facts behind things like the myth of Cancer Alley, if you want to learn more about becoming an ambassador for industry, you can do so at IndustryMakes.org. says she's here. There she is. Come on in. Appreciate the hustle. You're like right on time. We got the bumper music playing right now. Very, very well. How about yourself? You're stuck in that mess that we've been reporting on?
Mess. I was like, ugh. I should know my city better, right? I do. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to get y'all started.
Okay.
816 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, mornings with Brian Haldane rolling right along. We are still, believe it or not, unpacking the legislative session that ended on June 1st. And, well, because, you know, when 2,500 items come across the to be considered, it takes a little while. Joining us now in studio is my state representative, Vanessa LaFleur. How are you this morning?
I am well. I like to hear you say that. You're a state representative.
Absolutely.
You acclaim me. I like it.
Darn right we do. We've got so much ground to cover, but before we dive into your work, let's start with the sad stuff. Obviously, we lost a pretty great dude this week. A great legislator, a great dad, a great leader. Just give me your reflections on Senator Selders.
Senator Selders, Larry Legend, was a wonderful, a wonderful legislator, wonderful person, wonderful friend. Always ready to give everyone a big bear hug when he saw you, and he always asked that same question and looked in your eyes and waited for an answer. You good, you know? That meant a lot in that sort of space and outside that space that someone cared enough to ask the question.
Right. I mean, amidst all the chaos of a legislative session specifically, I mean, outside of it, you know, it's just cool.
Yeah.
But like inside of it, just level-headed.
Yes,
to
very,
be sure.
very much so. I loved watching him work because he was quiet with his work. Wasn't loud.
Oh, no.
But very effective.
Like, I met him literally twice. That he's was very under the radar, very just do his thing, which, but apparently, like, amongst colleagues, was everybody's bestie.
Yes,
so
we all claim him as that.
Yeah. So it's definitely a rough moment and a rough week.
Moment.
Yeah,
Prayers for his wife Kendra and the boys, LJ and Luke.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, State Representative Vanessa LaFleur in with us. All right, let's talk a little bit about the work that you got done. Can we start off with your human trafficking bill?
Absolutely.
Tell us all about what it did or what it does.
It updated our laws for human trafficking victims. It really did recognize them as victims, protected them through the legal process, and we gave them more access to the support that they need.
This is one that I think was, as I read it, it kind of just is one of those forehead slappers. Why wasn't this the way it was beforehand?
Yeah.
But go into a little more depth about how it helps out with on the legal, and how it helps on the legal, and how do they get the help that they need?
Yeah. It identifies them as victims as opposed to we recognize the fact that many of them are not in this human trafficking by choice, right?
Right.
So we see them as the victims that they are. We provide the services and the legal protections that they don't get charged for prostitution, for things that they have not consented to.
Right. Well, because the word child comes up quickly.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And there is a difference between prostitution and human trafficking, and I think that's a difference that most of us don't understand, is we assume that one is the other. But one's a choice and one's not.
Absolutely.
And it's a limited choice, to be sure. And I'm not trying to like glorify prostitution or anything. And I'm also not trying to shame it either. I'm just saying that there's a choice there to walk away. Trafficking is something that's completely different. It starts a different way. It's groomed a different way. It's controlled a different way. And it's so much more nefarious.
It is so much more nefarious. That's a good word. It is structurally, the individual that is caught in that system doesn't have a choice, doesn't think they have a choice. Oftentimes, they return and we go back and get them because that is the lifestyle that they have become accustomed to.
Right.
We create a record for them, a criminal record for them, where they didn't do this by choice. They are trafficked, and we need to sort of recognize that, and the updates to that statute does that.
Well, and this is one of those ones that because of the misconceptions, you're going to get no votes along the way that probably wouldn't be no votes if they understood the full thing. Good news here is once it got to the governor's desk, it got signed off on.
Absolutely.
And this is one that I know he has, on a couple of different occasions, trafficking has come up in the office of, which former Governor John Bell Edwards got started.
Yes.
Our current governor has said, yes, this is a good thing. Let's roll with it.
Yes, this was a good bipartisan bill. And it was supported by the governor's office and the attorney general's office because they have a robust human trafficking division as well.
Very, very much so. So that one got across the finish line, to be sure. You also had one that I'm going to need a heck of a lot of explanation on because I'm not sure I understood it. Tell me about creating the complex litigation section program in the 19th JDC. This is one that on the surface, that's a lot of words jumbled together, but in reality, it's going to have some serious impact.
Absolutely. So it was an extension of a program that had been in place. It is probably the jewel of the 19th JDC. This specialized section is for management of a complex litigation, like class actions. The parties opt to go into this complex litigation section. They pay the cost of that complex litigation section, so they get the judge and court personnel that is concentrating specifically on the work that they've done. I tell you, we had a pilot before, right? And in the pilot, every single case that went through settled. So what does that do when that happens? It saves court costs, and the judge can move on to another matter.
Because we all know, and we've heard from our DA many, many times about how overloaded they are.
Yes.
The backlog on his docket is not human. It's a ridiculous backlog, and it continues to grow. So being able to simplify things, simplify the complex. This bill basically took the temporary nature of what was and makes it the way it's going to be moving forward.
And we'll look at it again in another couple of years, but it is a great program, well ran by the 19th. I was happy to help them with that.
Very, very cool stuff. Food insecurity.
Yes.
Dive into that one, what you did.
I'm excited about that one because the one thing that we know and that the data tells us is that hungry children can't learn, right? And the people that can recognize and see that a child is hungry are those that are on the ground, the teachers, the counselors, the principals that are there. So there's this screening program that is in place. We added two more additional questions to a questionnaire so that we could recognize the students in our system across Louisiana that need additional services, and we will provide and give them the list of the services. We're recognizing that there is a need there, and this program says, let's figure out how to meet that need, how to get these students fed.
Where is the need?
The need is everywhere. This isn't a program just for public school students. This is across the state, and we've got programs that we have a list of that we can provide. All of this is in a confidential sort of conversation that happens, so that we don't, embarrass the kid or embarrass the family, but it connects the families and the children to those valuable resources, so that we can help in the hunger space.
So do we have any grasp or concept of how big the need is?
Well, DHS does and Family Services, DCFS does. They've got numbers on that. I don't have them with me, but I can tell you that when we were having testimony, that we were getting information that this is something that needs to happen, that we've got quite a few students, not just here, nationwide. Hunger, insecurity is a national problem.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. But we know we have problems with the median income, the number of people below the poverty level and whatnot. But we also have a problem on the income side for the state as well. So your fiscal note on this, what did that look like?
It was the zero fiscal note. Because these, we're connecting them to the services that are already out there. It's not additional services that we're providing. We're identifying who needs the services, and we're saying, here, these are the places that we're going to call and connect you with to get you help.
Okay. Okay, so this is just information gathering.
It is information gathering.
I thought this was a whole other avenue of providing more service.
No, it's a screening process where we screen the students and we figure out what their needs are, and there are existing programs to meet those needs that they may not know about, and we make that connection.
I've asked you in the past, are you sure you're a Democrat? No, because, a Democrat would create a brand new law and a brand new program to create duplicative services. It's a very conservative thing this thing does.
I guess.
It is.
I just know that it's going to help kids.
Yes, absolutely. By using the framework that's already there.
The framework that's there.
Let's not waste.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Absolutely love it. Before we move on to the session as a whole, because there's a lot, what else were you proud of within this?
My Senate bill, the Caleb Wilson Anti-Hazing Act. As you remember, Caleb was a student at Southern who died because of a hazing incident. I worked with his family throughout this process. I get really emotional about that because I'm a mother, and Caleb should still be here. We put some more constraints across this. We increase accountability for hazing. Safer campuses is what we're looking for. We're looking to identify and let students know that this is something that is not acceptable. We want organizations to know that if you participate in this, you will be removed from our campuses and you will never be invited back.
Is hazing one that we can, and I hate to ask such a cynical question, but is this a nut that we can crack? Because I feel like every time there is an incident, every time there is a fatality, and we've seen more than a handful, to be sure, there's a whole lot of headlines and a whole lot of movement, but then we seem to be back to square one the next time it happens.
Yeah, well, but we got to keep cracking.
No, of course,
you know what I'm
of
saying
course.
about and I hope that I hope that we can put an end to hazing, and I hope this helps because we're putting structure in that wasn't in before. There's more education. There's more sort of reporting that's there. The universities are working real hard to eradicate hazing.
Yes.
And we are trying to give them the belts and suspenders that they need to do that. And we're trying to get it at the base to let the students know there's mandatory classes that they've got to take.
Right.
To tell them what that looks like and who do you report to. We've got to at least try.
And
I know you know.
No, I'm led by saying it's a cynical question.
Yes.
So, because it is. All right, let's move over to the session as a whole.
Yes.
What were a few of your takeaways?
It was hard. It was hard because we dealt with the new maps that came out. Relationships across the board were strained this session, so there's a lot of repair that has to go on as we get ready to go back into the last year of this term. It was difficult to watch citizens come to the legislature, stay to 4:30 a.m., pour their hearts out about an issue that meant something to them, a very diverse group of voters, I must say, and to have their voice not heard. That's heartbreaking to me because I believe, I will tell you, every single bill that was in my package, a constituent asked me to carry that bill.
Yes.
And so I'm really, I like to be in tune to what my constituency wants, and my votes reflect that. Votes on that bill, on the bill to take away the district, to make Baton Rouge only 14% of the new congressional district, does not reflect the views and the wants of those citizens that took their time to come to the legislature.
Was there a right answer, though? Because, it's... And there's a difference between being heard and getting what you want. Because I feel so bad for Senator Klein Peter because he sat through all of it. He heard all of it as well. But at the end of the day, someone was going to be unhappy.
Yeah.
So I don't know that there's a right answer. If you do it just geographically, there's going to be unfairness there. If you do it based off of race, there's going to be unfairness there.
If you do it off party, there's unfairness.
Correct.
There, the whole process. I've been sort of doing a whole lot of deep diving and research, and I'm not sure that we shouldn't have an independent counsel looking and advising the legislature on where we should go. I think you take politics out. You look at population shifts. You look at a third of the state not being represented by its delegation. That's the sort of core issue for those voters that
Oh, and
showed
there's
up.
so many jacked up problems within it.
It
And
is.
the crazy thing is, we all focus on District 6. I mean, that's our district, right?
Right.
But like when you look at the number of parishes and the amount of geography and the time it takes to drive from one side of District 5 to the other, that's more jacked up than 6 is.
It is,
And
it
6 is jacked up.
It
When
is.
you look at Congressman Carter's district and say, believe it or not, that one actually makes the most sense. Like it's so messed up from top to bottom.
Yeah, and the city that we live in represent, we lose on this.
I know. I know.
That's what bothers me.
Yeah. In the meanwhile, I appreciate the hustle getting down here.
Oh,
Thank you
sure.
so much. I got to talk to you during news. But I'm not gonna. But we're just straight up out of time.
Okay.
State Representative Vanessa LaFleur. Always appreciate you stopping by. Here comes ABC News. We'll do traffic and weather after that. Oh, okay. Well, my clock was off then. We'll do ABC News, then LRN right here on Talk 107.3 FM. Wow. 836 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP. Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. I'm going to get to the Baton Rouge Underground Film Festival in just a quick second, but I do need to remind you about One Bath and Closets. Spell it out when you put it in the website, O-N-E, onebathandclosets. You asked me to move over, and I didn't move over. That's on me. I know. Onebathandclosets.com. Sorry if you're listening on the radio. It was not framed properly for Facebook and YouTube. Onebathandclosets.com is the web. I'm just eating up David's time right now, I swear. David Duvall and his team over at One Bath and Closets bringing 30 years worth of expertise and experience to the table every time. I swear by One Bath and Closets. You can call them at 400-8005. I swear by them because I'm a customer. I've used them. Christy and I redid our master bathroom and could not be happier with the results. Y'all, the process is so user-friendly. In the simplest way to tell you this is if you didn't build your house, your bathroom wasn't built for you. So hit up onebathandclosets.com, start scrolling through the gallery right there. Take a look at what's possible, what you can do in your bathroom. Tired of that old tub? Get yourself a walk-in shower. Maybe if you're getting up there in years, it might be time to get that walk-in shower anyway, just for the safety's sake with the little bench built out into it. We went from one vanity to two. The lighting is spectacular. The flooring is excellent. Everything we did in our bathroom, most of them were actually David's suggestions, and we just followed his lead. I mean, it was a great collaboration along the way, but the result was just impeccable. You can be down that path as well. Visit onebathandclosets.com. All right, it is time. Well, it's not time yet, but we're about to get to the Baton Rouge Underground Film Festival. We've got Nathan Hall and Joe Carlton back in with us. How are you, fellas? How's it going?
Doing good.
Yeah. Let's start here. Last year was obviously a big enough success to have you back again. So let's recap last year a little bit. For those that missed out on the Baton Rouge Underground Film Festival, what is it?
Yeah, so the Baton Rouge Underground Film Festival, it's a film festival for filmmakers by filmmakers. Last year we were hoping to have 500 people come through to participate, and we had over 1,800 people come to the festival. So it was a big success. Last year we had a whole bunch of screenings, panels, and workshops, and this year, it's the same heart of the festival. Excuse me, same heart of the festival, but bigger and better. More screenings, more workshops.
More parties.
Yeah.
So this year's installment, we're going to be coming up in what, September, I believe it was?
August.
August
27th to the 30th.
Okay, on the end of August, so right before September.
Yeah.
And talk to me a little bit about submissions for this year. What are we looking at?
We're about to announce our entire lineup. We have, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have 9 feature films, 2 long shorts that are essentially a feature block, and then we have 56 short films this year that we're playing, and they're half locally made Louisiana filmmakers, and then films from around the world, from some of the biggest film festivals in the entire world. Just a chance to kind of showcase what's going on in our industry.
Very cool stuff. Now, okay, Patrick Mulhern will come down here and hit me with a switch if I don't ask you about microdramas. Are there microdramas in this year's film festival?
So there aren't any microdramas in this year's festival. I think that they kind of work really well on the cell phone. So
yeah.
Bring your own microdrama to the fest.
That'll work. That'll work for sure.
But I do think that the fact that we have microdrama shooting here is an example of the independent film industry growing and strengthening here in Louisiana.
Yeah.
You know, especially this year when we had Sinners just blow up earlier in the year. We had the Viola Davis project here shooting, and then we had independent films, and now we have the festival coming up. We have the vertical dramas. It's a good time for independent filmmaking in Louisiana.
It really is, and this is where y'all are completely stepping up. So let's get back to, obviously the lineup's not announced yet, but walk me through a little bit about the process of putting the lineup together.
Oh, yeah. So the great thing about, this festival, this process was last year. We had somewhere in the ballpark about 150 submissions to the festival. This year we had over 400 submissions. So
crazy.
Almost triple the amount. And so really, it's that kind of thing. How do you watch 400 movies?
Right.
And select from them, right? So we have a team that goes through and we watch every single project, rate it on a certain scale, discuss them, and then select down to, what fits as a program. We tell people that, we see a lot of really, really high quality projects, and sometimes you're like, oh, if I get denied from a film festival, that means my project was bad. Not at all. No. The thing that goes into programming is make sure that we have a cohesive weekend of screenings, right? So it's more complicated than just is it good or bad, right?
follow up on that, because I mean, from somebody outside the industry, when a filmmaker makes a film, how many festivals do they submit to?
I mean, that varies. It really is dependent on the brand of your movie and the brand of a film festival, and just making sure that you're submitting to festivals that it makes sense, that works for your movie. So, I mean, it really just depends on what kind of festival circuit you're trying to build there and what your aims are at the festival, because there's different goals when you're participating in a film festival.
Yeah, and then from there comes the exposure. From there comes the
community as well. That's a huge thing.
Say that again.
Community. That's a huge thing that mattered to us about building the Baton Rouge Underground Film Festival, was building this community of independent filmmakers here in Louisiana. But it's also just an example of, like, we go to a lot of film festivals and we've built a community at those festivals. The reason that we're able to bring in so many cool, unique filmmakers and films to the region is because we've built a community beyond just our area at all these festivals, and we're trying to bring them here as well. We got Joe and Nathan in from the Baton Rouge Underground Film Festival. Now, you mentioned you got some Louisiana, some international flair as well. Is that weighted? I mean, y'all obviously you're putting some intentional emphasis on making sure homegrown is taken care of. Yeah, of course. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of the festival, right, is to uplift our local filmmakers. But I think part of the way that we do that is by bringing the best of the best throughout the entire world and putting our filmmakers right next to them. Right. And also we provide grants at the festival and some unique opportunities. And so it's about getting those opportunities to our filmmakers. Well, I mean, it's also a two-way street, though. You bring somebody in from out of town, and hey, take a look around. Your next project should be here. Absolutely. Like that's there's a sales pitch on that end too. That is 100% part of the aim with this festival, is instigating production and more film in our community inside of Louisiana.
Yeah, I think we found out from last year and from the networking that happened last year. I think it was something like either 2, 3, or 4 feature films were generated just from people discussing projects at the film festival. I mean, one project that I produced myself, wasn't going to happen until I made some connections talking to people at the film festival last year. So,
and if you don't come, it won't happen. So come to the Baton Rouge Underground and find out what can happen for you and your career as a filmmaker. All right, so let's pivot over to that spot, and then we'll get back around to the creative side. But let's take care of business real quick. Everything happens at the Manship Theater still, or have we moved to different locations? Oh yeah, so we have a few parties outside of that, but they're all right next to it. But yes, everything takes place in the Manship. Part of that is the intent is to make sure that we're having a networking space. So you're not going to you're able to avoid talking to other people when you participate in Bruff, right? You're going to be watching movies, panels, and you're going to be interacting with people along the way.
Now, as far as tickets are concerned, and I mean, is this an individual screening thing? Can you buy whole weekend passes, or everywhere in between?
I would everything in between, but I definitely recommend getting the full pass and getting your money's worth out of it. It's a really good deal and gives you a chance to watch a bunch of cool movies, a bunch of amazing short films, and participate in some really unique workshops and panels.
So last year, y'all dropped off the lanyard for me, and I got out there for all of 3 whole hours. But here's the thing, though. I ended up talking the entire time. I could not get away from conversation the entire time. I didn't even see a film last year. But the folks that I met were so the proper combination of passion and motivation. And it's just a proper combination, just absolute hunger for what they do. It's just it's amazing, and it's infectious.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to find more passionate filmmakers than you do here in Louisiana.
Yeah. That's the great thing about Louisiana. I mean, I moved outside of Louisiana to do film, and ultimately decided to come back because the culture is just so different. You ask a team of people like, I think I want to, bust my butt and actually make this thing, and everybody's like, yes, we're going to go right along with you. The passion, the drive, the artistry is just unmatched.
Let's get back around to some of the creative within. You said 56 shorts, was that right?
Yep.
Okay. Most of us don't consume short film. Where do we get that from? We hear about it when award shows come around. You hear about the different short films and whatnot. But where on a day-to-day basis will we consume that sort of thing, or is it just at a festival?
I mean, YouTube and Vimeo are great places. I mean, you're seeing filmmakers
break
out of YouTube right now that are going on to the main stage. You see like Obsession and Backrooms with young filmmakers from a YouTube background. That's a lot of where shorts are, but also festivals. I mean, this is the chance to go check out the films that are playing at Slam Dance and Sundance and South by Southwest and Cannes, all these major film festivals. Our intent is to build a festival for our community from around the world, and so you're going to chance to see what is the main films to check out at Bruff.
Is there a natural progression of creation to go from short to indie to wherever else in Hollywood?
Well, I would definitely recommend making a short before you make it a feature because it's a lot more work.
And who are we going to see the most of when we go out? Are we going to see writers? Are we see actors? What are we looking for when we get there?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a whole spread. So, these days we say, you have to be a multi-hyphenated artist. That means a writer, director, actor, producer. You do many, many things, multiple hats, right? And so, we're going to see filmmakers of all types, people that focus on writing and directing, people that, just want to be actors, that want to do set design, props, what have you. But I think we'll see
also just say the film community is beyond just like the filmmakers themselves. You have to think about all the vendors that participate in the film industry here that are coming to the festival as well. Some of the other parts of the industry, think about education and business as well. Like all of us are coming together. This is our third place for film. Anyone that's even remotely related to it, including if you just love movies.
Right. Well, and the art part is cool. I love the artistry and the work that goes into creating film. Love seeing people's ideas come to fruition in real form. But honestly, my biggest thing about movies in Louisiana is jobs.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
my it's cool. It's cool industry to follow for sure. But if it's keeping my neighbor's mortgage paid, that's where I clock in.
Yeah.
So. We got less than 2 minutes to go. Obviously, y'all are coming back a couple times before this whole thing is live and happening. But within these last 2 minutes, we haven't even talked about panels yet. Discussions going on, involvement on that front.
Yeah, so we're actually kind of doing a small satellite event in a couple weeks here at the library, the main library.
On Goodwood?
On Goodwood, yeah. And it's, we call it the Filmmaker Forum. It's an opportunity for people to come before the festival and just kind of hear from filmmakers that are in the industry already, ask questions like, how do I even get involved? How do I start getting jobs? That's a huge element of kind of starting out, obviously. And so we host this filmmaker forum with the library. We did it last year. We're doing it again this year. And that's kind of like an example of a panel at the film festival. We've got industry professionals sitting up there ready to talk with you.
We're partnering with Film Louisiana and Novak and a few other organizations that are industry standard, especially locally here, so we can talk about the state of the industry. We're going to have a panel with Film USA, which is advocating for a federal office. And so we're kind of have panels that really will get you educated about the state of our industry here and nationally. But we're also going to have panels and workshops that just kind of get your foot in the door when you're getting started on the creative process and the business process of filmmaking.
Absolutely love that on both ends. I mean, because, that's how to break in is one of the biggest questions out there, which is cool stuff. Joe, Nathan, thank you all so much for a couple minutes this morning. We'll get you back in a couple weeks, kind of refresh, and then keep it top of mind as we get closer to the Baton Rouge Underground Film Festival coming up at the end of August. Thank you all so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
We are coming up on Your Money Now right here on Talk 107.3 FM. We'll close it out next.
All right.
Good stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate you having us on.
No, absolutely. And we'll get you all back in. Are y'all covered sponsorship-wise? Or are you still looking?
We're still looking for
we still are looking for community sponsors.
Let's do about We'll include that in the next conversation.
And then just flag it, we're doing a screening of Sex Lies and Videotape this year. Soderbergh's big Palme d'Or winning film at Cannes that shot here in Baton Rouge.
Right here in
so
Baton Rouge.
maybe that's the movie to check out when you come.
Yeah. Should be good.
I've seen it.
See
on the big screen.
Well, that's true. Because I'm also a big James Spader guy. So.
There you go. Check out our parties as well. It'll be pretty cool this year.
I'll be all over it for sure.
Cool.
Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
It was great meeting you. We'll set a pass aside for you as well, so you can check out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bastard.
Oh, he put your seat way down.
Bastard.
Damn tall people.
He's not tall, though.
Well, how did his chair go down?
I don't know.
It's still down. Look, you still.
No, this is as high as it goes. Yeah. I think he lowered it to get out of it.
Do you need this room right after for anything?
No.
Okay.
God, Vanessa's so good. Vanessa.
I'll put her a Mason feature for today. Is that okay?
.856 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP Mornings with Brian Haldane, rolling right along. Couple of just cleaning up some stuff before we get out of here. What a preview for tomorrow. Of course, we'll have Foodie Friday presented by the Louisiana Beef Industry Council. Looking forward to that. I believe the restaurant's called Newly's.
I think
out
so.
in Ascension Parish.
It's a bummer because I won't be here to enjoy it,
Yeah.
but that's okay.
Well, I'll fake like I don't like it then. If it just so
yeah,
you don't
just
feel
tell me
bad.
it's gross.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I've heard good things, so I'm not going to fake it. Yeah, no, it's should be great. But we'll get Newly's coming on tomorrow. Patty G's in the house tomorrow as well. We could be working out what we're talking about with Patrick Grimion, host of the Patty G Show. We'll bring him on once a month to talk business culture, trends in Baton Rouge and whatnot. the business report just put out the top 100 private businesses. We might take a little bit of a look at that as well, as the conversation. Well, I should say, just as a forewarning, if you haven't seen it yet, the conversation with Petty G always gets derailed very, very early. We get back on track, but we have a lot of fun as well. So if you've not yet experienced that segment, he'll be in tomorrow at 7:35. Also looking to connect with State Representative Jessica Domain. As the show was going on this morning, I saw a piece dropped over at thehayride.com. And let me just read you the headline because it's delicious. Domain. The Alinsky playbook comes to the Louisiana GOP. I'm kind of going to want more than a segment to talk about that, but we'll have a segment tomorrow to be sure. I just don't know what time yet. We'll map that out afterwards. Also, give me 1 second. Sorry, I moved my stack over. I moved my stack over because I had 2 guests in the house, which meant I had to move over. Going to hear from, and this is already in the can, but we'll hear from him tomorrow morning in the 6 o'clock hour. Tad Devine is the author of a book called How the Democrats Screwed Bernie. And
damn,
I know.
What a headline.
Well, it takes us back to 2016.
Yeah.
And to be very, very clear before I play this interview back tomorrow morning, I'm going to have to repeat this ad nauseum. Tad Devine is about as far to the left of a Democrat as you could be. And I'm very, very much not. And I was here to talk to him about his book and his insight on his own party, not to debate him on individual points.
But did it kind of go there a little bit?
It started to, but I reeled it back in real fast to get back. I know. But
tea time.
Yeah, Tad Devine, tomorrow morning at 6:35. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, the book it's basically an anti-Clinton machine book. How the Democrats screwed Bernie. So we'll have that on tomorrow's show as well. In the meanwhile, Moon Griffon is coming up next. And, of course, anything that drops in the headlines today, we'll try to pick up tomorrow as well. Oh, I believe Guarantee Health is on tomorrow, too. So we will reconvene at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. For those of y'all in the chat, appreciate you hopping on board. Of course, the Lake Urgent Care brings us the chat every single day. We will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much for playing along.